Good evening. We are bringing you commentary of Manchester United against Liverpool today from the Premier League. I'm your alternative host, Russ Vernon, and I am joined by our commentary team, Matthias and Aaron Ayer, and you are listening to Football Commentary Live. We'll have a look at the earlier game before we build up to the big match this evening, and Manchester United making 10 changes once again from the defeat to Leicester on Tuesday, which we'll go on to in a moment. In the earlier game, which has just finished in the last few minutes, Aston Villa nil, Everton nil in the Premier League. In La Liga, it finished with a solid nil. Villarreal 2 and Eibar are going to losing 1-0 to Eibar losing 1-0 to El Betis, should I say. Eibar are losing at half time. Granada take on Real Madrid at 9 o'clock this evening. We'll let you know how they're getting on just before we end our programme. This evening in the German DFB Cup, Leipzig are currently trailing 1-0 to Dortmund, while in Syria, Crotone are beating Elis Verona 1-0 after 13 minutes in that one. Just want to say a big warm welcome and say a very good evening to our commentary team, Matt Towson. First of all, let's say good evening to our co-commentator tonight, Aaron. Aaron, welcome to the team tonight. You looking forward to this game?
Yeah, mate. Buzzing, mate. Absolutely buzzing. Two great teams. It should be an exciting game with United trying to get second place and Liverpool fighting for top four. So I'm excited. I hope they both go at each other and try and get 3 points.
Yes, Aaron, as I touched upon in the build-up to the coverage, I mentioned United making 10 changes again from the defeat against Leicester on Tuesday evening. Only Eric Bayer keeps his place with Anthony Elanga, who looked bright in the game against Leicester, not involved tonight. Do you feel the 10 changes will be enough for Manchester United to get the win tonight, or do you feel he's made too many changes?
I think the changes should help. They've got the more consistency with this team out there. You know, Bruno Fernandes back in and co. But the loss is Harry Maguire, and that one makes a big difference because I think he's had a very, very good season and kept that defence quite solid, especially since the turn of the year. So I don't know, it'll be interesting with Salah and co going at buying Lindelof, but I think United should have enough to get 3 points tonight.
Yes, you touched upon Salah in the front three tonight. No Sadio Mane in the starting lineup for Liverpool tonight. He's been replaced by Roberto Firmino, who grabbed a late assist against Southampton at the weekend. Do you feel Mane could be felt a bit outdone by not starting again tonight against a fellow big side in Manchester United?
Uh, Not really, because do you know what? He hasn't turned up this season much. I mean, the last 3 seasons he's been very consistent, constantly scoring goals, always being a threat. And this season he's just not been with it. So I can understand in a big game away at Old Trafford, you know, putting Firmino back in, someone who you know is going to get hold of the ball, try and control the tempo of the game, and the final third. So I'm not actually shocked, to be honest with you. But I think if he gets off the bench, you know, he can still make an impact.
Yes, looking at the back line for Liverpool today, Reece Williams and Nat Phillips, two young centre backs, partnering again tonight, up against the likes of Rashford, Cavani, Bruno Fernandes, and Paul Pogba will break forward from the midfield as well. How do you feel those two will do tonight? Obviously, they did well against Southampton, but do you feel they'll have a bit more to worry about tonight with the front line from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're looking at Fernandes, Pogba, Rashford, Cavani, and Cavani especially, his movement for two inexperienced. Well, I say inexperienced. They're inexperienced to the Premier League. That Cavani's movement could cause him all sorts of trouble. I mean, he Cavani gets the best defenders in the world in all sorts. So these two are going to need a lot of protection from Fabinho, Robertson, Wijnaldum, Thiago. They're going to have to help him out a lot here. It's going to be I think that's where this game will be won or lost. Where how those two do. If they have a good game, I think Liverpool could get something from it. If they don't, then you know it's United's game.
Yes, and we'll just fetching Matt Iles, our commentator for this evening's game. And Matt, where do you think the game will be won and lost tonight? You've obviously just heard where Aaron thinks it'll be won and lost tonight. Where do you think the key battles will be tonight?
Well, I think obviously the main point has just been addressed by Aaron, which I think is a very good point to make. I think you look at it in particular, it's how each side is on the break. You look at Liverpool, yes, it's not quite been the season in general for the team, but still individually, Mo Salah has hit 29 goals this season. You've still got Jota in there who's, taken like a duck to water in Liverpool colours. Obviously, we know about Firmino, his goal scoring isn't the greatest, but he certainly links up the attacks. Then you look at Manchester United, you've got Cavani, who Aaron spoke about, his movement, his finishing is up there as one of the best in the Premier League, you'd have to say, for a striker. You've got Rashford, you've got Fernandes, you've got Pogba. It just depends on how each side does on the break for me, because obviously, yes, Man United have the more experienced defence, and you look at Liverpool and Nat Phillips and Reece Williams, who are two centre-backs that was rightly pointed out, are very inexperienced at this level. It just depends on, which team is able to really transform their counter-attacking game onto the pitch tonight for me, as well as both sides' defences being a real key battle.
Yes, and Matt, you obviously saw the game on Tuesday night against Leicester. Are you surprised that Mason Greenwood is on the bench given his performance against Leicester in midweek? On Tuesday, should I say?
Yeah, I am a bit surprised, to be fair, because I think with Greenwood, he is a player that every time I seem to watch him for Manchester United, he just excites me. And I think Man United fans will certainly be saying that with me. I think he's just an exciting talent, isn't he? He's somebody who's so direct, so confident for his age. He's a phenomenal talent, isn't he? And he took his goal so well on Tuesday night against Leicester, in which he looked like really he didn't have a lot of room to shoot him, but he got on his right foot, which is amazing to think is just as good as his left foot, and he just put it beyond Kasper Schmeichel. He's so well driven, so dynamic, so direct, and I think that's what really makes him stand out. But it's not a bad replacement to say you've got Edinson Cavani in the team ahead of you, if you like. But he's a good option from the bench. But I think maybe there's an element of trust, I think, maybe in these big games as well, with Mason Greenwood, that maybe, he's at the age where you just need to just try and ease him into it a little bit. So maybe he's just thought about experience, and he's just maybe done it on a tactical point of view. And it might just be down to fitness. We just don't know, do we?
As you said, Matt, we don't know why he's left Greenwood out this evening. It's going to be a very big game for Reece Williams and Phillips, as you both touched upon this evening. And looking ahead to the game with the bench that both teams have got on the bench for Manchester United tonight, Aaron, is likes of Greenwood, who we've just touched on there, Donny van de Beek, Nemanja Matic, and Diallo, who played well against Leicester as well. And we've also got Juan Mata on the bench there as well, so I've just picked out a few key players there. And then if you look across the Liverpool bench, those who could potentially change the game is Divock Origi, Curtis Jones, Shaqiri, potentially Woodburn, Mane as well. On the bench, where do you see the game changes, and who do you think has got the more game changes on the bench, Aaron, from tonight's sides?
I think it's, for me, Liverpool. I think they showed last year when they played United at Old Trafford and they were losing 1-0, that Lallana came off the bench, if I remember right, and he scored, and they got a point from the game. And I just think Liverpool's bench plays like Origi. They're not, they've been there, done that at big stadiums and big games when they really need a goal, and they turn up. And United, don't get me wrong, they've got some players, but Van de Beek's not played much, and Diallo, young, he doesn't really, I know he trusted him on Tuesday, but he hasn't really put him on in other games. He's trusted Dan James more. But you're looking at Greenwood for United to make the difference. But for me, Liverpool have that Sadio Mane, that little moment he can bring to the game, and Origi's the same. They can play across the front three and change up the shape with it. So I feel like Liverpool have the stronger bench going into the game.
Yes, and Mo, would you tend to agree with Aaron there that Liverpool have the stronger bench out of the two tonight, or would you say Manchester United, Matt? We'll try and get Matt to answer that question.
Excuse me, yeah, sorry, I just had a few technical itches there, but no, I think Aaron made a really good point about Liverpool's bench being stronger than Manchester United. Obviously Greenwood is certainly the standout name there. Obviously Juan Mata can potentially come on it and unlock the door maybe if the game is not going United's favour. But would he bring Ahmad on? Would he, bring on Van der Beek in a game like this? I'm not sure. You look at Liverpool's bench. Sadio Mane is a real standout name. Curtis Jones, somebody who has, found, a lot of minutes from the bench this season. Shaqiri, as we know, is a good technical player. So you probably have to say Liverpool's bench probably is just one up on United in that regard. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what subs do get made during the 90 minutes.
Yes, that is the case, man. We'll be interested to see what subs get made. The Liverpool players are already out onto the field of play. Manchester United on the field of play right now, led out by their captain, Bruno Fernandes, for this evening's game. Liverpool captain is Gini Wijnaldum. So now it's time to hand over to your match commentary team. It's Aaron Ayer alongside Matt Iles.
Thank you, Russ. Well, this game finally takes place 11 days after it was originally scheduled to. Whilst protests are once again taking place tonight amongst some home supporters around Old Trafford, there's no need to postpone it a second time due to the situation being handled better by the authorities and the protesters being more peaceful and less hostile. We can finally say we have a game to bring you from Old Trafford as Manchester United entertain Liverpool. It's two of England's most decorated clubs meeting once again, and for the third time this season, as second place United look to further damage sixth place Liverpool's fluttering Champions League hopes, which are alive, but potentially how much longer for. The Reds have 2 games in hand on fourth place Chelsea, and with the Blues missing the chance to extend the gap to 10 points last night due to defeat against Arsenal, Klopp's team can close it to 4 and keep the belief alive that they can break into the top 4. Let's go through the 2 starting lineups. Starting with Manchester United, 10 changes made from the side that played Leicester City just 48 hours ago. It's Dean Henderson in goal. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, Victor Lindelof and Luke Shaw the defence. McTominay and Fred are the usual 2 in midfield. Rashford, Fernandes and Pogba, the 3 attackers, with Edinson Cavani leading the line. The only man who retains his place from Tuesday is Eric Bailly at centre-back. The subs are David De Gea, Alex Telles, Brandon Williams, Axel Tuanzebe, Juan Mata, Ahmad, Nemanja Matic, Donny van der Beek and Mason Greenwood. For Liverpool, they line up like this. Alisson in goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece Williams, Nat Phillips and Andy Robertson are the back 4. Fabinho, Wijnaldum and Thiago are the 3-man midfield, with Mohamed Salah, Roberto Firmino and Diogo Jota. The one change comes in the form of Roberto Firmino replacing Sadio Mane. The subs are Adrian, Kevin Kelleher, Konstantinos Tsimikas, Nico Williams, Xherdan Shaqiri, Ben Woodburn, Curtis Jones, Sadio Mane and Divock Origi back on the bench as well. Well, this is not just any old game in English football. It is the game of English football. The 2 most successful sides this country has ever produced. They've amassed 136 trophies between the pair of them. 68 each. And of course, they are deadlocked on that. United could go 1 up in just a few weeks' time with that Europa League final to come on the 26th of May in Gdansk. But what we do know is that Liverpool, whilst they're not playing for trophies this season, what they are playing for currently is a Champions League place. And we are almost ready to go on what is a gloomy, overcast night in Manchester at the Theatre of Dreams. And of course, it is a game we can finally say we will have to bring you. And of course, due to the volume of protests that amassed 11 days ago, in which, of course, they were voicing their anger at the Glazer family, it is a big night for all involved. It will be Manchester United who will get us underway very, very shortly, with Bruno Fernandes on the spot to take it as he'll go from right to left, as United will be attacking the south side of the ground. And of course, before all this happens, the usual taking of the knee, which of course is still a powerful message itself as the Premier League continues its fight against racism. We're underway here as Manchester United entertain Liverpool, with the ball going out towards Paul Pogba on the left-hand side from Victor Lindelof. and it's gone out of play, forward throw-in. Alongside me tonight, as Russ already mentioned, is Aaron Hare. Aaron, good evening to you.
Good evening, Matt.
It's a classic fixture in the Premier League and in English football. United second against sixth place Liverpool. A lot riding on it tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a big game, and you can already see Paul Pogba started out on the left like he has recently in the big games for Man United, going at Nat Phillips. And, he did this in Milan as well. Played on the left, had a good game when he came back, and he's going to be a big player in this game tonight.
Wan-Bissaka to Rashford. United trying to make early strides toward the Liverpool goal into Fernandes, who's on the edge of the box. Now Wan-Bissaka. Here's Fernandes once more, wearing the captain's armband tonight in the absence of Maguire. But Jota hits it against Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and it is a Liverpool throw as Robertson goes over to take. We are 60 seconds in to this one at Old Trafford, and it is goalless on a game you listen to on Football Commentary Live, the home of alternative commentary. And Robertson is just looking for his options down the line. Fabinho comes short for it. Robertson plays it across the defence to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Here's Nat Phillips as he then lofts it forward toward Roberto Firmino, is being held on to by fellow Brazilian Fred, and Liverpool have got a free kick inside their own half. Well, Roberto Firmino is somebody that Jurgen Klopp in the past has really given high praise to and has really sort of been his biggest fan. He's got the nod tonight ahead of Sadio Mane. A surprise inclusion for you, Aaron?
No. I thought he, like I said, mentioned in the pre-show that Mane's not been at it that much this season, and going to Old Trafford, Liverpool not in the they're under pressure. You need Firmino. You need someone who can hold up that ball, and he's that player. You can make him tick. And Diego Arta's done more this season than Mane as well, so he had to be included. So it was a no-brainer for me to start Firmino.
So a free kick was what United were looking for, but instead they get a throw in. The referee tonight, all in black, is Anthony Taylor, a man who is, of course, not used to very much used to refereeing the big games. Luke Shaw looking for Paul Pogba down the left, cut out by Alexander-Arnold. Now through to Firmino. That's a lovely ball. And Firmino tries to square it to Jota. They're saying that's a handball for sliding challenge from Eric Bailly. Anthony Taylor has said a corner kick. Liverpool are absolutely disgusted that a penalty's not been given, but that was a quick break by Liverpool. That one ball through from Alexander-Arnold set Firmino away. He unselfishly tried to lay it off to Jota, but what a vital interception that is by Eric Bailly. And I think Anthony Taylor got that decision right, didn't he, not giving a penalty?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking at the beginning of the season, that's a penalty with the handball rule, but what is he meant to do? He's sliding for the ball. He can't move his arm there. You can't do anything about that. So no penalty for me, and spot on from Anthony Taylor.
Liverpool have the first corner of the game. Trent Alexander-Arnold will take on this right-hand side. In it goes towards Reece Williams, hacked away by Marcus Rashford, who was back in his own defensive half to try and clear the danger. There's a slip by Thiago as Cavani nods it onto Fred, who's chasing it down to keep it in play. And then he's fouled by Mohamed Salah right on the left-hand side. And it's a free kick as Fred wins it just in front of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand. He takes it short to Victor Lindelof as he gets it back from Fred. Fred now coming forward with it, sprays the ball out to the right and picks out Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's got a lot of room to bring the ball forward into. He now gives it to Marcus Rashford. Pokes it through to Paul Pogba. Two Liverpool players are closing him down. Wan-Bissaka's to his right, crosses in. Cavani attacks it, but it's well off target. It's gone out of play for a goal kick, but there's that movement from Edinson Cavani that we spoke about just before the game.
Yeah, that's where this game, for me, it's going to be won or lost between that centre-back partnership of Liverpool and Edinson Cavani, because he is on hot form right now. And we're just looking back at that chance for Firmino where they're looking for the handball. I don't know why he's not had the shot. He's in one-on-one on the angle, and have a go at goal there. Get your shot in early doors, They say test the keeper early and see where you go. I think he should have had a shot, personally.
Do you think maybe it might just be down to a confidence thing with Firmino? I mean, it's 6 goals this season. He's not scored in 15 matches in all competitions, which certainly might be playing a part on his mind. That's got to be something to take into account, surely.
No, definitely. But you're just thinking that situation, early doors. Oh,
it's a short ball from Alisson. Cavani tries to catch the keeper out, and Alisson's heart was skipping a beat there or two. It was a lazy ball from him. He just didn't put enough on it. He was trying to give it to his centre-back, Reece Williams, completely undercooked it straight to Cavani, the worst person you could do it to. And as Cavani took it on the edge of the box, he's fired it off target with not really a lot of power behind it, but that is a massive let-off for Liverpool.
That is, I mean, how many times has Alisson done that this season? That I can remember twice against City, a couple of times not long ago. That's just, you can't, especially when you got two young defenders there, you can't be doing that. Just clear your lines.
Firmino now to Wijnaldum, the Liverpool captain. He's featured in every single Premier League match this season as the Dutchman, which just goes to show how important he is still at Liverpool in his 6th year with the club. Here is now Robertson down the line to Jota. That's a good ball. He plays it across to Salah, who's coming from the right into the middle to get a hold of it. Thiago out to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Well watched by Pogba, who's underneath it as the ball just sort of hits his face as he then nods it to Fred. He gets it back. Now it's with Fred once more. Now to Bruno Fernandes. Now McTominay over hit by him. Thiago comes in. And then McTominay with the slide-in challenge. And it's a Liverpool throw. We're up to 6 minutes of this game. Man United 0, Liverpool 0. And in the early stages, Aaron, both sides have had some, well, you could say they've had one chance to get a goal. Of course, Liverpool didn't actually shoot from their attack with Firmino, but Cavani had that chance. But you can see early on that there is potentially the chance to attack the space being left in behind.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I mean, this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted from this game. Two teams going at each other, going for the goals. I mean, we've seen in previous years, United-Liverpool matches, especially at Old Trafford, they're a bit tentative, both a bit more organised, trying to make sure they're solid and not conceding goals. Whereas today, you can already see they want to go at each other. United pressing high with Cavani. I mean, that chance comes where he's gone and pressed the centre-half and the keeper's made the error. And at the other end, United are playing a high line, even without Harry Maguire, which is brave, and Liverpool got in behind. So it's a good start. It's a good start.
Reece Williams has the ball at the back, comfortably knocks it back to Alisson, who does manage to get his foot through that kick this time as he goes up into the air. Jota competing with Bailly. Bailly wins that one. So he nods it to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Here is the Ivorian, who's really struggled to play regular minutes in the last few years under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Of course, injuries have really took its toll on the Ivorian, who was a real big part in his first season at United, in which they won 2 trophies under Jose Mourinho. But that's good pressing from Liverpool down United's right-hand side as they win a throw-in. And that is something that we've been so used to seeing in the years that Jurgen Klopp has been at Liverpool, that his teams always go and press. It's a term known as Gegenpressing as well, if you are someone who's into the tactical side of the game, as my co-commentator is. Not the best ball by Phillips, who knocks it out of play for a throw-in. And we spoke in the pre-show, Aaron, about how it's a big night for Phillips and Williams. I mean, not many teams can say that they've got 4 centre-backs out injured in Kabak, Gomez, Matip and Virgil van Dijk.
I mean, there's some big names there, isn't there? I mean, players who have been there, done that, won the Champions League, played big games, won the Premier League, and now you're going to 2 pretty much inexperienced centre-halves. And like we said, the game is probably going to be won and lost in that area. If they have a good game, which they have had this season, they've individual performances, they've been pretty decent. Especially Phillips in the air, he's an absolute monster. He rarely loses a battle in the air, and that's where the game's going to be won and lost for me. If they have a good game, I think Liverpool get something tonight.
Pogba looking to go out to the right to Rashford. Gets it under control very nicely, does the Man United number 10. Wan-Bissaka makes a run in behind Wijnaldum. Now to Fernandes. Chance to shoot. Goes on the outside of his foot. And it's gone off Nat Phillips. And into the back of the net. He's wearing the captain's armband tonight, Bruno Fernandes. His first opportunity of the game has come at the expense of Nat Phillips, who's knocked the ball into his own net and beyond Alisson. And with 9.5 minutes fast approaching, it's Manchester United 1, Liverpool 0.
And it's just on cue. We say they've got to have a good game if they're going to get something from tonight. And he scored an own goal. But for me, I'm looking at here when Bruno Fernandes gets the ball for Wan-Bissaka, Fabinho's got to be tighter. He's in the box by himself. A man of that talent. He's got 27 goals this season, and Fabinho is 2 yards off him. You can't give a man that much time and space in there.
Well, they were given the worst player on the pitch, time and space, Fernandes, who's got 27 in all competitions. it looks like it might be 28. Whether or not that shot was on target or not is up for debate. But all that matters is United are in front, and it's come at an early part of this game in which we said there was space in behind just a few minutes before, and yet Aaron Wan-Bissaka made that run. No Liverpool player even saw his run, and he just laid it to Fernandes, as Aaron said, was in space inside the box. On the outside of his foot, went for it, and of course got the deflection off Nat Phillips that took it beyond Alisson. How will Liverpool respond here? As Robertson tried to knock it to Jota, Wan-Bissaka chests it away. Fred away from Thiago. The Brazilian is playing a lovely ball to Rashford. It's just a little bit beyond Marcus Rashford. And then Alisson comes out of his goal to continue with the ball at his feet, as Liverpool now have it at the back with Nat Phillips, who of course will be hoping that he has a much more smoother evening than what he has had in the opening 11 minutes. Williams to Alisson, to Thiago. Alisson gets it back. High pressing from United, in particular Fernandes. Alisson then plays it to his left and finds Reece Williams. Then to Robertson. Jota tries to get around Eric Bailly and is unable to do so. Fred, short to Cavani. Now Pogba. Luke Shaw's coming up in support. He runs onto it, gets the cross in first time, bounces off Trent Alexander-Arnold. Pogba then to Fred. United still have possession here. They're looking like they want to go and get a second goal here, as it's on the corner of the left-hand box. Pogba with two Liverpool players around him. Plays it through to Fernandes. Being persistently put under pressure by Thiago, and then he knocks it back to Lindelof, and United still have possession. So Liverpool's pressing there has just seen United have to drop back a few yards there, as they still have it here, United, with Wan-Bissaka. Touch, and then ball goes in. Nat Phillips watches that one and then volleys it away with his left foot. But Tomane's header is straight into Wijnaldum. And then he gets away from Fred, who slid in and was well beaten there by Wijnaldum. Now Jota to Wijnaldum, the Liverpool skipper tonight. Now Phillips to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Thiago has it, of course, buoyed by the fact he scored his first goal for the Reds on Saturday in their 2-0 win over Southampton. Robertson to Firmino, as it's gone beyond him, and then Fernandes is there to clear the ball away. Rashford will chase with Williams, who's going to knock it back to Alisson. It was the right thing to do there. It was the only option he had, to be perfectly honest with you. And then Nat Phillips has the ball inside his own half. Now Trent Alexander-Arnold tries to get out of the way of Paul Pogba, but Pogba stands his ground well, and then his pass is deflected. Williams with a little touch into Robertson, who challenged by Rashford. Now McTominay, as United are attacking Liverpool's goal. Rashford has it. Jota steps in and challenges, and now Williams has it to Robertson. It's been very fast-paced to some degree, the opening 14 minutes of this one. The ball very rarely out of play, as McTominay's giving it away to Wijnaldum. Both sides being a little bit sloppy in possession in and around the pitch. Trent Alexander-Arnold looking for Salah. Lindelof comes across to deal with it. Then Thiago wins it off Fred in the middle. Appeals for a Liverpool handball, waved away by Anthony Taylor. Here's Salah in the United box now. They're going to go on his left foot, does. Luke Shaw with a vital block as Fred clears it away. Now Fabinho to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Phillips. Wijnaldum is the man who he finds in the middle. Now he gives it to Thiago, who then goes short to Reece Williams, and then Liverpool just keeping possession. But it was a real frantic sort of couple of minutes there, with both sides going back and forth in each other's sort of area, but the passing was not really crisp enough, was it?
No, I mean, for me, just looking at United's pressing, it's phenomenal. They press high up the pitch, and then even when Liverpool get through those first set of lines, they're still on them. They're still on them. Eric Bailly's in halfway inside Liverpool's half, and he's right on him, squeezing on him, and it makes such a big difference, because one bad mistake and United get the ball back.
Jota now to Trent Alexander-Arnold, low cross in. Paul Pogba sees that cross come off him in the back of his heel. Thiago manages to wriggle away from Edinson Cavani as Liverpool are keeping possession, just thinking about the idea of maybe where the space can lie, whether or not United leave a gap or two. United so far have been spot on in their shape, and as Aaron mentioned, they're pressing. Phillips has it now to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and United sort of quite well away from the pitch, just as Liverpool get inside their own half. Early on, I can say, they're quite content to let Liverpool just keep the ball, aren't they? As Wijnaldum now has it. McTominay with a good slide-in challenge, but Anthony Taylor says free kick, which Thiago has decided to take quickly. Phillips to Fabinho. Now out to the right with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Salah's the run down the line. Looks for Firmino in the middle. Didn't quite have enough on it, but Firmino does well to give it to Jota. He now gets it out to Robertson on the left. He gets the cross in. Jota was attacking it, but it was well over his head. And then it's going to go toward the right-hand touchline as Pogba lets it run out of play for a Manchester United throw-in. But maybe you felt if there was someone a little bit taller in there instead of Jota, that might have been a header on Dean Henderson's goal there.
Yeah, no, I mean, just that was a lot better from Liverpool. They moved it left to right. They played it in between the lines, got it back out. And then they've done what they've been good at for the last 3 years. They deliver the ball. I mean, that delivery from Robertson's bang on, just needed that one more run on the back post. And like you said, maybe someone with a bit more height, a Divock Origi later in the game or someone like that, makes a difference.
Bailly's clearance has gone all the way out into the midfield with Wijnaldum. He now gives it to Fabinho. Now Nat Phillips, who's received it back from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he's been forced to go back to Alisson, who plays it first time to Reece Williams, who had a loan in the Vanarama National League North last year with Kidderminster Harriers. So it just goes to show the rise that he's had in just a few short months. Wijnaldum to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now Fabinho gets it in the middle. Now Wijnaldum. Firmino's made the run to the right. Wijnaldum just delayed it and decides to just keep the ball at his feet. Free kick was given by Anthony Taylor, but Wijnaldum is happy to carry on. Now out to the left by Thiago as he finds Robertson. Touches into the middle with Diogo Jota. Robertson gets it back. Looks up and gets the cross in. Henderson has to just get a hand to it, but the offside flag is raised against Andrew Robertson and has gone out of play for a throw, as well as the flag being raised on that right-hand side. We're 17 and a half minutes in. Man United 1, Liverpool 0 at Old Trafford.
I mean, you just look at that front three, even today, the rotation. Firmino's going out wide, Salah comes inside, Jota might go out wide, and Robertson comes in. It's good, and that's what they've got to do tonight, because without Harry Maguire, United are missing a little bit in that defence, and they've got to do as much as they can to cause Bailly and Lindelof problems, and that rotation will do that. Like, Salah's back on the right now, but don't be surprised if in the next attack, on a counter-attack, he's straight through the middle.
Well, that is what Liverpool have been so good at, isn't it, Aaron, over the last few years? It's just how the front three, whoever it is, whether it's Mane, Salah, Firmino, or in this case, Jota, Firmino, and Salah, they all just roam around, don't they? There's so much freedom, so much flexibility that they don't even look out of place sort of any way you look at it, down the middle, on the right, or on the left-hand side, are they?
No, and they've always got that threat. And if you watch, the moment Robertson or Trent get the ball, their runs, they all know where to run. It's a narrow three, so they'll make the runs and they'll be in between the goals. They know what they have to do. It's organised. It's brilliant.
Pogba now has it on the left-hand side. Looks for the cross low. Rashford went for it, went beyond him. Attack still alive here with Cavani as the ball just trickles out of Liverpool's final area. Now Wan-Bissaka still in a position of real peril for Manchester United. Fernandes to Bailly. Out now to Luke Shaw, who's had a renaissance this season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now Pogba. Through it goes, looking for Shaw. Cut out well by Reece Williams. Just had to get a foot to it. And it was a good lunge from the young Liverpool centre-back. Thiago now out to Robertson. He now goes to Jota, who tries to give the return back to Robertson, but it's seized upon by McTominay in there, as he's really developed that in his game, hasn't he, McTominay? He's got such an eye for winning the ball in the midfield, as he now gives it to Wan-Bissaka. Now Fred. Out now to Luke Shaw. Brings it forward into Liverpool's half. Looks for Pogba through the middle. Picks him out. Tries to go to Rashford. Thiago with a good sliding challenge. Had Thiago not been there, that's gone to Rashford's path. And as we know, Rashford does like to shoot from range and can on some occasions really strike a ball to any sort of direction. But unfortunately, Pogba's return was just not the best into him. as Fabinho tries to get away from McTominay. It's a good sliding challenge by Shaw on Mo Salah. Now Fred on the halfway line to Paul Pogba. Fred gets it back, who's looked very, very lively this evening. Certainly had his Weetabix this morning and tries to play the ball in the box, but it's cut out well as United get a throw in. You're listening to Man United Liverpool. Man United 1, Liverpool 0. Bruno Fernandes' 10th minute goal via a Nat Phillips deflection is the difference so far in a game you listen to on Football Commentary Live, the home of alternative commentary.
I mean, you were just talking about Scott McTominay and how he's redeveloped his game, winning the ball back. The thing what's most impressed me this season is how when he's under pressure and the team's pressing him, he just keeps hold of the ball. He makes the right decision. He is so important to this United team, especially in games like this.
McTominay out to the left. Now to Bruno Fernandes. We've not seen him out in that position a lot tonight. Good ball in. It was a dangerous one for Phillips to deal with. Just about did enough. He was looking for Pogba Fernandes, but it just didn't reach the French World Cup winner. And then Wan-Bissaka with a vital header in the right hand side in the middle to Eric Bailly. Lindelof now has the ball at his feet. Out to the left with now Bruno Fernandes, who just covers so much ground, doesn't he? Always wants the ball at his feet. There's the Manchester United top goal scorer for this season. 28 for him. Whether or not that goal does actually count his, it will be 28. Or if Nat Phillips has unfortunately got an own goal, which he'll have on his mind, then it's only 27 for Bruno Fernandes. Shaw looking for Pogba down the line. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a foot in there. And it has gone out of play for a Liverpool goal kick with the last touch going off Paul Pogba. 22 minutes played. Man United 1, Liverpool 0 if you are just tuning in to our live stream of this one. Robertson now to Alisson. He then will play it in the middle to Wijnaldum. Does well to dribble past Marcus Rashford. Now Reece Williams has it.
Here we go
Looks
again.
forward. It was too short. McTominay with the volley forward, which has gone out of play for a throw-in. I mean, you look at Liverpool's midfield, Aaron, you've got Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Thiago. What do you make of that trio in particular?
I mean, it's different, isn't it? Because when you have Jordan Henderson in there, you know you're pressing. You know you're going to go run after the ball. Thiago hasn't got the legs for that, so you've got to be constantly...
That's a lovely ball. They're looking for Jota. And Henderson came out very quickly off his line to smother Diogo Jota as he looked to just try and get a touch beyond him. It was an absolutely beautiful ball into Diogo Jota. He just couldn't quite get that real contact on it and get it away from Dean Henderson, which you have to give a lot of credit to United goalkeeper for coming out quickly and just closing it down on Jota and smothering him so much that he doesn't really get anything on it.
Yeah, no, it's again Trent Alexander-Arnold picking it up in that half space and delivering the ball. That's what they're good at. This is what Liverpool are good at, and they've got to keep doing it. They've got to keep delivering the ball in those areas where it's the corridor and uncertainty, and United will be facing their own goal. Their defenders are facing their own goal. It's a few times they've done that this evening already, and they look good doing it. I think that's where they'll get most of their joy.
Lindelof stepping in to win it ahead of Wijnaldum. Now Jota, who had that chance just a few minutes ago. It was actually, he did get a better contact on it. I didn't give him enough credit. It was actually a really good bit of goalkeeping by Henderson, even more so than what I was elaborating on. And it really was excellent piece of keeping. Now Trent Alexander-Arnold. We now got his delivery. It's not the best ball in as Bailly comfortably heads it away. And then Fernandes just knocks it out of play for a throw. But with Trent Alexander-Arnold, Aaron, he just finds that space so well, doesn't he? And he is somebody that, as we know, has got such a good crossing ability that he can pick anybody out. And unfortunately, just on that cross, he was unable to do so. But you can't give him too much time and space on any area of a defensive front for Manchester United tonight.
No, definitely. I mean, you're just looking at the statistics. He's number one in creating chances for Liverpool in open play. And that's your right back. So it just shows how much of a weapon he is. And he's been doing this for 2-3 seasons now. Anytime he gets the ball, he knows what he's got to do. He's got to deliver. And that was a prime example there. He's put the ball in on a sixpence for Diogo Jota. It's not an easy chance, but the ball is so good from him. He's a problem. He is an absolute problem. When you're defending against that, it's hard. It's difficult.
Here is now Salah as he tries to go on the outside of Lindelof as the Swedish defender stands his ground well. And Liverpool have won a corner. It was an interesting tussle between them two. Lindelof didn't give Salah a lot of room to get in behind him. He just sort of stood in front of him, but Mo Salah is somebody that doesn't often shy away from a personal duel, and he's done well to win his side a second corner of the evening as Reece Williams and Nat Phillips are both up. There's 4 Liverpool players in the box as United are deploying a sort of man marking stroke zonal marking type thing here as Trent Alexander-Arnold gets the ball in. Reece Williams makes contact with it. McTominay kept his arms down despite it striking him. It's a good challenge in there by Bailly, and the referee actually points to the spot. Anthony Taylor thinks that Nat Phillips was fouled by Eric Bailly, who went to ground, and the man who deflected and diverted Fernandez's chance in for United's opener has just won his side a penalty, courtesy of an Eric Bailly challenge.
I mean, has he won the ball? He's won the ball.
Well, he's got there first, hasn't he? That's surely got to be overturned.
That's not a penalty. He's won the ball. He's won the ball. He's won the ball. He's gone through the man, but what else is he meant to do? He's won the ball. It's not a penalty. Not a penalty. It has to be overturned.
Well, Luke Shaw, Bailly, Fernandez, Cavani, all around Anthony Taylor. As VAR is looking at this, there is only one answer, isn't it? I mean, that is as clean a tackle as you're likely to see. But we have seen, especially over the last few weeks, that decisions have been given like that, both in the box and outside the box. Of course, it is the follow-through these days that refs do look at, as Anthony Taylor's been told by the VAR, Paul Tierney, to look at the monitor and check himself. So we waited 27 minutes for a VAR decision, and we've got one here, courtesy of Anthony Taylor. Let's hope that VAR doesn't strike here, because Eric Bailly has so clearly won the ball, despite following through on that, Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones, but I mean, what's he meant to do? He's cleared the ball with his left foot, and it's only natural. It's natural movement. Like, it was the same as that Balbuena one against Chelsea. I don't understand that. Like, no, it's not a penalty. He's got to overturn this. Has to overturn this.
Well, he's looking at this, Anthony Taylor, taking a good look as well. He has to make sure he gets this right. He's made his decision. He's overturned it. No penalty. Luckily, VAR doesn't strike. Jurgen Klopp has a bit of a smile. He probably thinks that it was a penalty. I think a lot of people would disagree with that. So play will restart with Anthony Taylor dropping the ball into Dean Henderson. So the referee has had a big decision to make, and it's a decision that he's probably got right, hasn't he, Aaron?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, this is where VAR works good. It might have taken maybe 30, 40 seconds, a bit longer than you want it to, but it was a wrong call from the referee. They've had a look at it, overturned it, bang on, get on with the game.
Absolutely, and that is exactly what we are doing here with the game continuing as Alisson has the ball at his feet. Now to Nat Phillips as his moment of redemption, you could say. It's just been cast aside very quickly. Not the best ball by Thiago as McTominay pounces on it. Not the best ball into Pogba, as it was just a rush pass there in a key area as it's going out of play for a Liverpool throw-in. But we obviously get the beauty of the replays in front of us, and you can see he's such a good challenge, hasn't he? And do you think maybe the Liverpool players' reaction might have won that penalty there? Because we are starting to see managers get really irate about players sort of maybe getting a bit angry and shouting for decisions when we all know that they're not even really penalties or fouls.
Yeah, no, I mean, in fast play, I did think, like, that's a bit reckless. Like, has he touched the ball? And I can understand why Anthony Taylor had given it originally. But the moment you saw the replay, he won the ball, and it's just a bad decision, and that happens. You know, referees make mistakes as well. That's where VAR has to help him. But I did actually think it was a bad challenge originally when we originally saw it.
Well, when a player does go to ground in the box, sliding in like that, you do often wince, as Rashford now has it. Cross goes in. He was looking for Cavani, was well beyond it. He actually went ahead of it and then was looking for Luke Shaw. He was the nearest thing to it, but Trent Alexander-Arnold just hacks it out of play for a Manchester United corner, which has taken them 30 minutes to get their first one. So it'll be quite interesting to see what they do from this. Victor Lindelof has scored this season from a set piece. Eric Bailly yet to do so. We saw Liverpool cause a bit of a problem or two from the last set piece in this game. How will United fare with this as Luke Shaw goes to take it? With United, of course, attacking the south side of the ground. In it goes. McTominay meets it. And the last touch has gone off the... Scott has it? No, it hasn't. It's gone off a Liverpool player, and it will be a second chance for United to get an opportunity on Alisson's goal. It was a good fizz ball in. It was quite a low height from Luke Shaw that he put it in toward Scott McTominay. He does often win headers in the box. Will he be the target again? Shaw decides to go short to Fernandes, who just peels to get it in there. Touch is a really good whipped in cross. Pogba flicks it across. And it's just gone well beyond Cavani, and Alisson sees it drift out of play for a goal kick. But you can't let Paul Pogba get up like that and try and get a flick on, because, you know, usually he does pick somebody out or get that toward goal. It was just a little bit beyond Cavani on that occasion.
I mean, it's like the goal, though, for me. Bruno Fernandes has all the time in the world to pick a cross out. Liverpool have to get out quicker there, or, you know, get someone like Salah's on the edge of the box, or get someone else and make it two at the back, two staying up there.
Rashford now has it. Good driving run through the middle. Looks to try and thread it through to Pogba. Cut up by Trent Alexander-Arnold. United still have it with Rashford. Easy gives it to Shaw. It's not the best first-time pass into Pogba. Now Liverpool come away with it. It's a 4-on-4 counter here as Fred and Shaw now scramble back just to make the numbers up for Manchester United. Firmino looks for Wijnaldum. It's beyond him. But Robertson's luckily to Wijnaldum's left to pick up the ball. Fabinho with the clip ball out to the right with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Luke Shaw going out to close it down quickly. As the ball from Alexander-Arnold bounces off the chest of Shaw, Salah goes into the back of Fred. Free kick given by the linesman's flag on that right-hand side. Gary Bezic. We are 13 minutes plus of the first half remaining. Man United 1, Liverpool 0. The game listened to on Football Commentary Live, the home of alternative commentary.
I mean, we're just having a look at that challenge again from Eric Bailly where the penalty was awarded and then overturned. I can understand why he's giving it. The contact is there. You know, you think, has he just kicked Nat Phillips and the ball has naturally gone off Phillips and gone that way? I do understand the decision from Anthony Taylor, but luckily we do have VAR and the game is, fairly, it wasn't given the penalty.
Well, we have seen some decisions with VAR really eyebrow raisers, and some be pretty spot on. That was in the category of being spot on. Wijnaldum to Robertson. It has got enough legs on it. The ball into Jota. He got a hold of it really well, but it was just too central for Jota's liking, and it was, in the end, quite a comfortable save for Dean Henderson, but Liverpool may be starting to come alive now.
And that's where that narrow front three again, if you look at Jota, he's inside and Wan-Bissaka has gone in with him, and that's left the space for Andy Robertson to get into. So as that ball comes in and Robertson cuts it back, Jota then finds himself in more space than he's used to. It's really good play from Liverpool.
Robertson will take this corner right in front of the Stretford end, the empty Stretford end. In it goes by Robertson, Henderson and McTominay in a bit of a miscommunication. Drilled back in by Salah. It's now with Nat Phillips. Chance to shoot, perhaps by Phillips, flicked on by Jota, and it's an equaliser for Liverpool. Well, he went close just a few minutes ago with that chance that Henderson kept out, but he was unable to keep out that close-range attempt from Jota, who's equalised from all of about 6 yards out. Man United 1, Liverpool 1, and the Reds have responded at Old Trafford.
I mean, it's absolutely brilliant from Nat Phillips. A centre-half playing like a centre-forward up there. He wins the ball off Pogba, goes past Lindelof, gets it back in there, and Jota with an absolutely brilliant finish. But Nat Phillips, credit where it's due. He was probably at fault for the goal, probably could have cleared it a bit better or dealt with it, moved his feet, but he's got his team a goal back, and that's brilliant stuff from him, and an absolutely superb instinctive finish from Diego Jota. Oh!
Here come Liverpool now with Mo Salah. He looks to find Jota again. It's just gone beyond him, but he keeps the ball at his feet this time as he gets his feet back together, and then the ball goes in. Lindelof clears it away. Robertson now has it. He then gives it to Wijnaldum. Liverpool maybe now just cranking it up a few notches, but he gives it straight to Paul Pogba, who's just stopped as he's seen the wall of Liverpool players right in front of him. Now Trent Alexander-Arnold plays it through to Firmino. He's on the edge of the box, gets the shot away. Blocked by Bailly. Liverpool corner, and United struggling to get out there as Lindelof had one pass cut out and then Salah broke through. But maybe now we're just starting to see the tide turn a little bit.
It's brilliant from Liverpool. They've got a goal back. They're on the front foot. Their confidence is there. The front three look lively. They've got another corner. I think this is their 6th one off the half already. They're dangerous from these situations. It's very, very good for them.
Robertson will deliver this corner in. In it goes from him. By with the header away. McTominay was jumping in there. There was 2 Liverpool players attacking it, but he didn't find any of them. And then the cross in is bounced off a United player and gone out for a throw. And it's Man United 1, Liverpool 1. Of course, Liverpool sitting in 6th. They begin the night 7 points behind Chelsea. A draw gives it to 6, with, of course, Liverpool with a game in hand on Chelsea. So you'd have to say they'd have to win their next game to really stand the chance of potentially getting into that top 4. Of course, they do face West Bromwich Albion on Sunday at the Hawthorns, of course, who are already relegated. We know that they'll be playing in the Championship next season, so you would expect Liverpool to wipe the floor with West Brom on Sunday. But the here and now, it's their best spell in the game as they've got back level courtesy of Diogo Jota. Wijnaldum wins it off Pogba. There's a bit more of a real urgency to Liverpool's pressing, even more so than what it was earlier in the game. Thiago with the outside of his foot plays a lovely ball across the floor to Jota. Robertson on the overlap, low cross in, goes straight to Fred, who gives it to Fernandes, and he plays it through to Rashford, who's got pace to burn. He now brings it from his own half into the Liverpool half. He's the only man he's got up there is Cavani. Robertson does really well to make the challenge. And then he skips away from Fernandes and then gives it to Trent Alexander-Arnold. But Marcus Rashford should be really getting a bit angry there because he only had one person up there. That was Edison Cavani. United were really slow to get out and practically had everybody inside their own half, including Bruno Fernandes there.
No, I agree. But on the other side, I think he has to do better defensively. That's the 4th or 5th time that Andy Robertson has got in on the left and Wan-Bissaka goes with Jota inside. So he has to do more on out of possession and get back and stop Robertson from getting free crosses into the box.
Fred knocks Wijnaldum off the ball. United now have it with Rashford. Just slows it down, waiting for the red shirts to arrive. He gets Wan-Bissaka to his right, and who he finds. McTominay sees his pass blocked by Salah. Now Diogo Jota, who's certainly not been quiet this evening. He's probably been the most lively one out of the 3. Alexander-Arnold with the ball for Salah. It was a tantalising ball, which just goes beyond Mo Salah, and Dean Henderson out of his goal quickly to gather the loose ball. But that was brilliant from Mo Salah to make that run. It was just unfortunate the pass was overhit. Firmino now to Salah. That's a better ball into the Egyptian this time. Has his back to Henderson's goal. Knocks it to Diogo Jota. He's brought it forward well. Trying to get on his left foot to shoot. Wan-Bissaka with a good sliding challenge there to stop the Portuguese winger from getting a shot at goal. United struggling to play their way out from their own area, but McTominay gets it out of a desperate situation as he knocks it to the left and finds Cavani. Now Fred out to Fernandes.
Fernandes is everywhere. He's unbelievable. He's everywhere. Right back, left mid, centre forward. He's everywhere. When United tick, it's all through him.
I struggle to name a better Manchester United signing over the last few years. I think Fernandes has been that good. Of course, United's transfer business over the last few years has been very questionable, certainly under Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has shorn up the defence with Harry Maguire missing tonight, of course, due to ankle ligament problems. And Fernandes, of course, who arrived in January 2020, to say his impact has been instant and has been absolutely sensational would be something a little bit of an understatement, shall we say. Fernandes gives it to Pogba on the edge of the box, decided against the shot and tried to play it through to Cavani, but Liverpool's defence knew exactly what Pogba was trying as they were able to sniff it out and deal with it. Now Bai has it. We're entering the final 5 minutes of the first half here at Old Trafford. Man United, that is 1, Liverpool 1. Wan-Bissaka taking on Robertson. Cross goes in. Phillips with that foot away. And you probably have to say, since that deflection of Fernandez's shot, Nat Phillips has not put a single foot wrong.
No.
And of course, got the assist for Diogo Jota, and of course, did have that penalty rightly ruled out against him. But he has been a problem in the United box, especially from set pieces. Shaw with the cross in, it's bounced off Fabinho. And then it's cleared out now to Eric Bailly. Now United's turn to keep Liverpool penned back inside their own half. Here's Eric Bailly. Fred through to Pogba. Getting a little bit of space. Maybe a chance to shoot. He's gone in the box. Pogba shoots. Hits the stanchion. Behind the goal. It was toward Alisson's right. It was fizzed at the goalkeeper. But it's off target. It's gone out of play for a Liverpool goal kick. It's actually, in fact, not actually hit the stanchion, but hit the side netting. But Pogba there trying to take matters into his own hands.
Yeah, that's what Paul Pogba can do. He's so good when he's on form. Honestly, he just glides for 6'4", tall, powerful, skillful, quick feet. I mean, he had 3 Liverpool players around him there, and he still managed to shift the ball and strike it so quickly. And he's a top player. And if Paul Pogba has a good game, Man United tend to have a good game, and it's a common theme.
Well, it does almost feel like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is starting to finally bring the best out of Paul Pogba, in which his predecessor, Jose Mourinho, couldn't do it. There was, of course, strong rumours of a rift between the pair of them, which, of course, was something that was well documented. Of course, Pogba, who looked like he was leaving a few months ago, has really turned his form around and his game around, as United can't get out of the situation they find themselves in as they're just inside their own area. But Shaw brings it forward, and then it's a clumsy foul by Jota as he goes into the side of him. And United have won a free kick and a chance for them to just maybe settle down, which they don't decide to do as they take this free kick quickly. As Rashford comes short for it from Eric Bailly's pass. He looks for Fernandez. Reece Williams, with his right foot, knocks the ball onto his left knee. And it's a United throw as the ball has gone off Andrew Robertson. Wan-Bissaka will now take the throw in as United have got 3 players forward: Cavani, Fernandez and Rashford. Fernandez is found from Wan-Bissaka's throw. Here is Wan-Bissaka on that right-hand side. So Fernandez is coming back from an offside position, leaves it, and then Wan-Bissaka just gives an arm in the back on Fabinho. Cheap free kick to give away, and Liverpool have got a free kick inside their own 18-yard area as we approach the final 2 minutes. Man United 1, Liverpool 1.
I mean, you look at Wan-Bissaka in the final third there. He is so improved in that specific area. I mean, last year when he was playing and came in, you thought there were certain moments he would get into that and he didn't know what to do. Obviously, he's made a mistake there, but throughout this season, consistency of at least making the right decision. Sometimes the quality still isn't there, but you can tell he's improved on that aspect. And for me, that's why he should be considered in Gareth Southgate's England team, but he thinks otherwise.
Well, it is strange to see that Wan-Bissaka has not yet even had a call-up or an appearance for Gareth Southgate and England. Pogba into Rashford, who's now in the Liverpool box. He's got a swarm of blue shirts around him. He just couldn't quite get out of there, as United still have it here with Fred. Maybe a chance to have a pop. Plays it short to the right with Wan-Bissaka, the man we were just speaking about just a few moments ago. McTominay gets the cross in, well watched by Reece Williams, who heads it straight to Robertson, who then plays it to Jota, and then Robertson just clears it forward for Mo Salah, who's now playing down the middle. Thiago looks to give it to Salah. The chase is on. Henderson's come out a long way. Gets the ball under control and then plays it short to Paul Pogba. Did really well there, did the Man United goalkeeper, because many a goalkeeper would have just took a touch and then leathered it there, but he decided to just knock it on the floor to Paul Pogba. And just quickly, Aaron, have you been surprised by Henderson, not just his inclusion, but how he's performed since he came into the United fold?
I'm not surprised about the performances. I was surprised he was included in the end because I think it was De Gea went back to Spain for his wife's...
he was celebrating the birth of his first child, yes.
And so, fair play to Ollie. He said, De Gea, you can go. And Henderson, he took his opportunity. And it didn't surprise me because we saw his talent last year. He is the definition of a modern-day goalkeeper. He can play with his feet. He's a very good shot stopper. You know, he's agile, he's confident, he's brave, and he's got that little bit of arrogance you need as a player at a club like Man United. You've got to have that arrogance, you've got to have that belief, and he definitely does, and he deserves the credit and the plaudits that he is getting.
McTominay with the ball forward. 3 minutes of added time at Old Trafford. Which side will go into the break? Hopefully going in front, as Thiago is penalised for going into the back of Marcus Rashford. As the first half is closing, Aaron, just give us your thoughts, because it was, well, I'll go back to you and ask that question in just a few seconds as Fernandes takes that quick to Paul Pogba. He takes on Trent Alexander-Arnold, goes on the inside, it's blocked, it's come to Fernandes, blocked again by Nat Phillips there. He didn't even have to move there. Luckily, it just hit him as Fernandes tried to strike one on goal. Fernandes is still down. It's not a head injury, so Liverpool not obliged to kick it out, as Mo Salah has it now. Jota on it. United have a man on the floor still, and a free kick's been given by that swipe by Pogba. Fernandes is down, clutching his left ankle, I believe. And we are 1 minute into additional time, as there's a break in play for the first time tonight to allow Fernandes to get some treatment as he took aim. It was Thiago that called him. Certainly not enough to give a foul away. It was just as he went to chase him down behind him, he just catches the back of his ankle there, and they can be quite painful.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I think he's clipped his Achilles. I mean, there wasn't much contact, and you can see even now he's walking off fine. I think he was trying to win a free kick or penalty, to be honest with you, but it was a great block from the Liverpool centre-offs, because you know what? Blocking is very underrated in football. You know, it's little things like the goal United scored. If someone gets in front of Fernandes and blocks the ball, it stops everything. So, you know, those big blocks like that, they're crucial to the game, and don't underestimate him. Don't underestimate him.
Liverpool have a free kick in a very good position. Fred's the only Man United player in the wall. Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold both around it. Must be about, what we're talking about, 15, 16 yards out. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold with a whip ball into the right. Firmino attacks, and Firmino has scored. The flag stays down, and for the first time in 16 matches, Roberto Firmino is a goal scorer in a Liverpool match. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a ball right on the money. Firmino attacked it and headed it in beyond Dean Henderson. It's Man United 1, Liverpool 2, with half-time fast approaching at Old Trafford.
And it's the two players we spoke about, wasn't it, Matt? Trent, he creates so many chances. Firmino, not scored in, 15, 16 games included today. And I think he's been absolutely superb, linking up the play. And he's added that little bit more and got that goal that I think he's deserved for his performance so far. And Liverpool, after going a goal down, have been absolutely brilliant.
Well, if one side was going to go in at the end of the break in front, you'd probably have to say Liverpool. Ever since they equalised, they just found something that might not have just been there. They've always been in this game, but what a time to score right on half-time through Roberto Firmino. And, of course, the smile that he gave after that goal was one of sheer relief and also joy at the fact that his side have taken the lead at Old Trafford, as United, of course, went in front courtesy of a Bruno Fernandes goal. Whether or not it came off Nat Phillips is a different story entirely, as they're looking to try and get level. Wan-Bissaka jumps over the slide-in challenge of Andy Robertson, as Liverpool have got a bit of defending to do. We are into 4 minutes now of stoppage time played. A minute over the 3 intended. But of course, Firmino's goal has meant that we just played a little bit longer. Now the whistle has been blown by Anthony Taylor. Well, Roberto Firmino, so far, is the difference between Man United and Liverpool. His side had to come from behind. Bruno Fernandes found space in the box with the outside of his foot. His shot cannoned off the leg of Nat Phillips as it went beyond Alisson into the back of the net to give Manchester United the lead just 10 minutes in. But then after that, Liverpool were pretty spot on and have been the better of the two. They had a penalty ruled in their favour, but then VAR overturned it. And then, of course, after that, Diogo Jota scored from a Nat Phillips assist in which he backheeled it from 6 yards out. And then with the last attack of the first half, Roberto Firmino scored from a Trent Alexander-Arnold free kick as they head down the tunnel. Bruno Fernandes is angry with the referee, Anthony Taylor, over something. Not quite sure what about, but his side are 2-1 down at the break at Old Trafford. It's Man United 1, Liverpool 2.
Yes, and Manchester United, after going in the lead through Bruno Fernandes or Nat Phillips, Bruno Fernandes goal and Nat Phillips, own goal, take your pick, have now gone behind 2 goals from Liverpool, well taken goals as well. One from Bobby Firmino on the stroke of half time, and the other one, which levelled the scores, was from Diego Jota, and Liverpool are in the lead by 2-1. In the other Premier League game, which kicked off at 6 o'clock, it finished Aston Villa 0, Everton 0, Real Valladolid 0, Villarreal 2 in La Liga. Eibar drew 1-1 with Real Betis. 4 minutes Scottish Granada 0, Real Madrid 0 in La Liga as well. And in the German DFB Cup, RB Leipzig are trailing by 3-0 to Borussia Dortmund. Sancho with a brace, and the other goal scorer was Erling Haaland. Crotone still leaded by a goal to 0 in Serie A. They're playing against Hellas Verona this evening as well. We'll just come to Aaron and just ask Aaron, during that first half, was a fantastic first 45 minutes for between both sides this evening. And Aaron, looking at that first half, what do you think's been the better side in that first half, and what have you made to the overall first half from both teams?
I mean, when we talking about the first 10 minutes, I thought United were superb. They came out of the blocks, they were pressing high, and even when Liverpool beat that original press, then they were on them again, and they kept winning the ball back. And I thought they were brilliant, and they had that early chance with Cavani, and obviously Liverpool did have a chance, but United did deserve their goal for me. That first 10 minutes, they were right on it. They were setting the tone for the game. They got their goal, and they deserved it. But then after that, I felt like they dropped back too deep, and that pressing wasn't as that the speed of the press had gone, so they weren't getting after the ball quick enough. And when Liverpool broke the press, then they weren't on them again. So I don't know, maybe that goal didn't help them necessarily, and they dropped too deep. But since that moment, Liverpool, I mean, Trent and Robertson are causing so many problems. The moment Jota, Firmino, and Salah are inside the box, you know what's happening, and they are causing them so many problems because Trent will deliver, Robertson will deliver, and they deservedly got a goal back and took the lead. And Nat Phillips on that equaliser, I thought it was phenomenal because, you know, he's made a mistake at the other end. He's recovered. He's thought, forget about it, get on with the game, and he's got the equaliser for him. And then, as we were talking about Firmino before the game, he's chipped up with a goal. But I think his overall performance has been phenomenal as well. And Liverpool deserve to be leading at half time.
Yes, and we've got one of a fellow commentator who just commented on some EFL games for us tuned in this evening, Nicholas Jones, and Nicholas has had the commenting during that first half, says superb commentary from both Matt and yourself, Aaron. It says you've acquitted yourself really well into commentary for the channel, and he's one of our EFL experts on the channel, be doing a few of the EFL playoff matches that we've got coming up, which will be starting on Monday. We'll try and cover every single one of those matches, both first and second legs. We'll look to bring you both of those as well. And if you just look at it as well, Aaron, Liverpool up to 5th now with an outside chance of going into European football, into the Champions League, just 4 points behind Liverpool. If Liverpool win all their remaining matches and Chelsea slip up, then Liverpool could overtake Chelsea into 4th spot and sneak into the Champions League, which at one stage early on in the season, when they were down in 9th, 10th, 11th place, Liverpool, after a very poor start to the season, it didn't look possible for Liverpool to get even Champions League or Europa League places. But there must be some credit to Jurgen Klopp, the way he's got the side ticking together and climbing back up that table and just outside the Champions League places at this moment in time.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think when they had that blip in the middle of the season, just after Christmas, he couldn't settle on a defence, and I think they just changed partnerships. Like I think 10 games in a row, they had a different centre back partnership. I mean, At one stage, they had Fabinho and Henderson there. That's your two holding midfielders, and they just couldn't settle. And then eventually they did. And even now, it's so much better playing with two centre halves, two guys, even if they're young and inexperienced, guys who know the position and are learning in that position. It also means players like Fabinho can play higher up the pitch where he's meant to, and he has a great influence on that Liverpool team. And they've picked up form in the last few games, and they look more like their normal selves, especially in terms of their crossing. Because if you watch them over the last 2-3 years when they've been at their best, winning, getting to a Champions League final, winning a Champions League, winning the Premier League, crossing has been a key part of their game, whether it's from corners or in open play. And today you can see that determination to get the ball in and that desire to go win that header or that little flick on. And both their goals have come from some sort of cross. The first one was a corner, and then Nat Phillips brings it back in. The second one was a Trent free kick. So, they look more like their normal selves, and they've got a chance. I mean, it's in their own hands to get top four, and they can do it. And you wouldn't write them off. They were last season's champions.
Yes, they were indeed. They were champions last season, fully deserved champions last season as well. And if you just go back to that first goal, which I've just seen a few moments ago, I think with that one where it came off Nat Phillips and went in from Bruno Fernandes' shot, I think Nat Phillips may have seen it just a tad late. I think Reece Williams may have just been in his eye line, first stood him just in front of him, and then he managed to curl round Reece Williams because Reece Williams ducked out of the way and then came off Nat Phillips. But he did, as you say, only did well to get back the other end to set up a goal, which was like a striker's turn and shot, which was deflected in by his strike partner. And then you've seen all season with when Liverpool have been on form, Trent has got a fantastic one of the right foot, and he produced that again with that free kick for the second goal. And just going to fetch up this comment here from Mike Hardeman, another commentator on the channel and presenter on the channel. I hope you're doing okay, my friend. He says, I really like the look of these two young kids. I'm sure they'll probably play together for a fair few times in the under-23s, which he probably has. And he's also gone on to say, Aaron, he's agreed with Nicholas. Very good commentary from two great commentators. And it's your first game as a commentator, Aaron. And how are you finding it so far? You enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, I'm loving it, and to be honest with you, I've known Matt for a few years, and I've heard a lot of his commentary. But working with him, it's unbelievable. He is so talented, and I know he'll go far in this game because just this is my first time, and he's made it so easy for me, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it, and it's down to him because he's doing such a great job.
We've enjoyed having him on. I've worked with him on a couple of occasions. Mike worked with him at the weekend as well for Chelsea Man City. I worked with him for Crystal Palace against Chelsea earlier on in the season as well. And Matt works well with anybody he's partnered with on the commentaries on the channel. And I've heard some of his other stuff that he's done for the other commentaries that he works on, and excellent stuff. And that's why we brought him across to the channel to be a part of the great channel. And Matt, I'm just going to fetch you back in now. I don't know if you was around, but Nicholas Jones, he says his great commentary from both yourself and Aaron, and he says Aaron's putting himself really well into commentary for us. Would you tend to agree with that, Matt?
Well, first of all, I'm blushing. Wow, all this praise. Wow, get me a drink. No, it's been fantastic. Obviously, Aaron's a well qualified coach, and obviously, as he rightly pointed out, I've known him for a couple of years, and he's always been dedicated into the coaching side of things. And not many people his age have really been invested in doing what they're doing. Obviously, he knows what the game looks like. From a real lower end scale, if you like, in terms of managing the team he does. And I don't mean that in any disrespect, but he's someone who is like himself going to go very far in the game, and he's made some fantastic points. And for someone who's not done it before, he's pretty much taken to it like a duck to water. He's been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah. Yes, I agree, Aaron. You've done fantastic so far in that first half, and like I said, Aaron, Matt's helped you ease in, and you've grown in confidence as the game's gone on. I'm just going to give a shout out to another good friend of mine, everyone here at Football Commentary Live. JB, you have a bit of problems last night. No problem, my friend. Keep locked in, and you hopefully get you back on. Probably for some of the Euros coverage if you're free, and also we'll get you on for next season during the FA Cup and league matches during next season. We're just gonna, and also Matt, while we wait for the second half to kick off, just gonna bring you in for and ask you what you think of this. Mike has said he really likes the look of the two young kids in Reece Williams and Nat Phillips. He says he's sure they've played together for a fair few times for the under-23s. And what have you made to both of those in that first half? Do you feel they've grown into the game together with this a centre back?
Absolutely. I think they have grown together as a partnership and obviously individually themselves. Phillips started the game in a real shaky manner, as did Williams. You know, Phillips, of course, diverted in Fernandez's shot, which was obviously not a nice experience for any defender. But obviously, you know, he took the assist fantastically to set up Diogo Jota. He stayed cool, stayed calm. You know, he had a lot of players circling him and just to look up and to just play that ball across. You know, as a player in that situation, you just hope that a fellow teammate's there, and he picked out Jota superbly as he backheeled it in, of course. Obviously won a penalty, which was rightly not given. So, they've had a good half, and I think obviously tonight is a big night for the pair of them. This is where they come of age, an experience like that. It's something they'll never forget in terms of playing together, playing in a ground like that. Okay, it's not the full experience because, as we know, this game in particular would have fueled both of these fans to be so loud and to be so passionate because they both want to win, don't they? But, you know, it's still the next best thing for them is playing in a ground like that, playing against, you could say, some of the elite in world football in terms of their names and star power. I think they've acquitted themselves very, very well.
Yes, and they've probably played a number of times. They've seemed to form up a really good partnership. I've seen them a few times when I've watched the games and when I've covered a few Liverpool games, and they've worked really, really well. Wait for the players to come out for the start of the second half. And also, Matt, I know I mentioned that about Nicholas and what Aaron said. Mike, as well, you know, he says he agrees with Nicholas. Very good commentary from two great commentators as well. So Mike's also loving your coverage tonight, and like I said, I think Aaron has warmed into it and done really well, and you've eased him in quite comfortably, and he's just going to go on to enjoy this game. I think he's enjoying it already, and he seems to be a good commentator as well to go forward. And I think if there's any good spending moments, and we can during the summer, we'll definitely have you back for the Euros coverage as well, Aaron, to be part of our commentary team during the Euros as well for the upcoming European Championships starting this summer. So we'll great to have you on board.
I do appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much.
Yes, and we're just watching that by chance again here, and like I said on commentary, both of you said on commentary, the referee Anthony Taylor did well to originally give it because he looked on first viewing like he'd missed, didn't get the ball at all, but the replay showed he did, and that's why VAR is good. Before we actually, we was talking about VAR with some poor decisions, especially the one in the as earlier game where Tyrone Mings should have been sent off and wasn't sent off for that bad challenge in the earlier game. We were talking about that off air, and we all seem to agree that it's not VAR that's the problem, it's the officials that's using. There's too many changes. If they had one set of officials for VAR every single week, that probably could work better. But we'll talk about that on another day in another stream. But now it's time for the second half to get back underway. The players are back out, so it's time for me to hand over to your match commentary team of Aaron Ayer alongside Matt Iles.
Thank you, Russ. Well, Jurgen Klopp has been a manager of Liverpool since 2015. He's had 7 visits to Old Trafford prior to tonight, and he's not won a single one of them. So this is an unhappy hunting ground for himself. But of course, as it stands, it looks like he's going to chalk his first win on the board as Thiago gets the second half underway as he goes from right to left. Of course, Liverpool in that light blue, luminous sort of strip with sort of black plastered and sort of little drips and drops all over the shirt, of course, all blue from head to toe, or shirt to sock in this case. United in their traditional red shirts, white shorts, black socks. So we'll just go through both sides' lineups just very quickly. No changes made at the break. United, Henderson, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Lindelof, Shaw, Fred, McTominay, Rashford, Fernandes, Pogba and Cavani. And Liverpool are Alisson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece Williams, Nat Phillips, Andy Robertson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Thiago, Jota, Firmino and Mohamed Salah. The referee, of course, Anthony Taylor in all black with assistants Gary Bezic, Adam Nunn, fourth official David Koo. The VAR, Paul Tierney's already had to step in. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold in the box looking for Salah. Vital challenge in there by Lindelof as United were playing a dangerous game they're trying to play out there as Liverpool come here forward with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Shot comes in, Henderson spills it, and it's put away by Roberto Firmino. Yet again, United, architects of their own downfall. Henderson spilled the shot from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Firmino in the right place to put in just 90 seconds into the second half. And Liverpool have got a 2-goal cushion. Man United 1, Liverpool 3.
I just can't understand what United are doing there. First, Fred giving the ball away. Second, Luke Shaw trying to run away with it. But it's them two men again. Trent Alexander-Arnold in open play, creating something. Bobby Firmino turning up and scoring a goal. He's been absolutely brilliant this evening. Both of them have. And Liverpool 3-1. Poor, I tell you what, they're in dreamland, aren't they?
They are in absolute dreamland, aren't they? Who would have envisioned this before the game kicked off tonight? Man United 1, Liverpool 3. We saw United lose on Tuesday in a performance where you could tell it was their fringe players and they hadn't had a lot of minutes, but this is their regular side. And Liverpool, who of course sit 4 places below them in the table, really are putting them to the sword and, if you like, almost trying to put themselves ahead of that chasing pack towards Chelsea for that top 4 place, which as it stands, they will close the gap to 4 points with the solitary game in hand as well. So there is a real genuine belief that the top 4 is back on for Liverpool, and you could almost go to say that it might be some sort of statement win as Fred has gone into the back of Roberto Firmino and Diogo Jota there. 3 minutes into the second half, it is Man United 1, Liverpool 3, and it's Firmino who's got his second of the game that has put Liverpool 2 goals in front, and that is a yellow card, in fact, actually, for Eric Bailly instead of Fred, which you can have no complaints about.
I mean, you look at, you come out in the second half, you're 2-1 down, you've just conceded before half-time. The last thing you want to do is give Liverpool the ball. A team who, by the way, you mentioned earlier in the game, are one of the best at pressing high up the pitch. And they've given them an opportunity. Why not just from that goal kick? It's the 46th minute. Just squeeze everyone up, hit Cavani, and play off him. Just for the first 5 minutes. Get your feet back. Get used to the game again. Instead, they've given the ball away. And it's just, football isn't a difficult game. It's a pretty simple game. And sometimes, even at this top level, they just got to simplify things. Just simplify it. And they wouldn't be 3-1 down right now. And, you look at it and you just got to question some decisions. I mean, even Fred, he's not looking where he's played that ball. Luke Shaw, who's had a fantastic season, starts trying to run out with the ball. And he's got about 4 Liverpool players chasing it. It's so poor, the decision-making.
Well, it almost does just feel like maybe that United haven't even got out of the dressing room yet. They're just sort of still sat there, just getting fluids on board. And mentally, they're just not prepared at all because Liverpool have come right at them from the word go in the 4.5 minutes that we've played in this second half as Mo Salah wins a throne, of course. And there's been a shirt change for him. He's gone from long sleeves to short sleeves in this second half as Mo Salah, as Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's had a big say on this game, goes over to take the throw. And of course, he set the chance up for Firmino's first with that beautiful free kick delivered in. And then the shot spilled by Henderson fell into the path of Firmino from his effort. Jota tries to get the shot on his right foot on the edge of the box. Fernandes comes in and makes an important tackle. Firmino now to Andy Robertson. Fernandes does well to close him down. Wan-Bissaka tries to knock it forward. It's bounced off Andy Robertson, pressing all the way high up the pitch from that left-back position that he's played so valiantly for Liverpool down the years, forces Wan-Bissaka to clear the ball off him and out for a goal kick.
I mean, I would not be surprised now if in the next 10 minutes, either Fred and McTominay come off, Pogba moves into midfield and Greenwood comes on, because United now really, really have to get up that pitch and start creating more. And as much as I like Pogba in that left mid position for what he offers, United need 2 goals, so they've got to take off Fred and McTominay, one or the other, and get Pogba in there and Rashford to the left and Greenwood on the right. He's the man in form.
He absolutely is. Greenwood is absolutely in fine fettle at the moment. Of course, he scored against Leicester. And of course, he scored against Aston Villa in the 2 games prior to tonight. Of course, United with their 4th game in 7 days. Of course, it began with Roma a week ago in the Europa League semi-final 2nd leg. Then they went to Villa Park on Sunday, winning 3-1 to preserve their unbeaten away record, which is quite phenomenal, really, that they are on the run that they are on away from home under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in which they are 26 games unbeaten away from home. The last defeat was in February of 2020, but at home it's been a different story as Lindelof plays for Rashford, looking to get on the shoulder of Robertson, and Robertson missed the clearance, but Rashford, who was eyeing that up with so much intent, just couldn't quite get that under control. And luckily for Robertson, Alisson's there to dive on the ball, as Rashford didn't really know that it was down the other side of him, if you like, on his left.
Yeah, no, brilliant from Alisson there. You know, we mentioned earlier about a lot of mistakes he's made whilst trying to play out, but he's still got that speed and awareness and great positioning to, pick up those balls. Because, like you said, Robertson's he's got under it. He's got under it. He's not looking at it, and he's misjudged it. And I think, if Rashford on another day he gets that ball right and controls it, they're in big, big trouble. But Alisson does very well to help his teammate out, and that's what a good goalkeeper does.
Robertson goes to Trent Alexander-Arnold, filling into the midfield just for now as he tries to knock it forward, looking for Salah. Shaw underneath it and making a real mess of it. He was in 2 minds whether to go forward or to go back. He did turn back toward his own goal, but then it was cut out by Mo Salah as it's gone out of play for a goal kick. We are 8 minutes into the second half. It's Man United 1, Liverpool 3 on the game you're listening to on Football Commentary Live, the home of alternative commentary. And Aaron, we spoke before the game about how, to some, maybe Firmino was a surprise inclusion, given the fact that Mane scored on the weekend. He's certainly justified his inclusion, hasn't he?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, taking the goals away, he's been brilliant. Even in the first half, there was a couple of times when United were pressing high and Liverpool had broke the lines, and it was Firmino dropping deep and linking up the play. He's been absolutely brilliant, and he deserves his goals. He's done what he does. And what was it, 16 games without a goal, 15 games without a goal, and then he gets 2 at Old Trafford on the biggest game of their season so far. So, big game, big player.
Firmino gets it from Thiago. Here is the Brazilian. Tries to feed it to Fabinho, but then McTominay was there to cut it out. Cavani is fouled by Robertson, who went into the back of him. Free kick. It's not been his night tonight, the Uruguayan. Somebody, as we know, thrives off chances and being that predator in the box, but so far he's had a quiet evening, and United, you'd hope, will change that in the next 5 or 10 minutes should he last that little bit longer.
And that's a credit to the 2 Liverpool centre-backs who we said if they have a good game, that's where Liverpool get a result, because you know they're going to create chances, Liverpool, but that you were scared for them too. Against the inform Edison Cavani, you were scared, but they've been absolutely tremendous so far, bar the opening 10 minutes when there was a couple of mistakes. They've been brilliant.
Pogba gets it from Fernandes. Pogba is body checked by Thiago. Anthony Taylor took a few seconds to give that, but he does give it in Pogba's favour. He moves the ball forward just a few seconds. The ball was still rolling when he tried to take it short and go to the left-hand side. As we are going to have a second attempt at this free kick, which Fernandes takes short to Fred. Fred gets it back. Pogba, away by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Remember, Manchester United possess one of English football's young, brightest academy prospects in Mason Greenwood. 11 goals for him this season, and he, of course, scored, as I mentioned, on Tuesday against Leicester, what was a fine goal personally. If you were Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now and you were speaking to your coaching staff of Mike Phelan, Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna, I think Mason Greenwood would be coming on pretty much now, I'd suspect, Aaron.
Yeah, 100%. I would take off Fred. I'd move Pogba into that midfield, move Rashford to the left, and get Greenwood onto that right, because that's better balance in an attacking way as well. You know, the one thing what Pogba doesn't offer is that speed in behind. And if you have Rashford, Greenwood on either side of Cavani, both of them want to get in behind. So, you know, that change needs to be made sooner rather than later, because the longer they wait, the harder it will get.
Alisson takes the kick. There was an offside flag raised against Marcus Rashford. Jota and Bailly were competing in the air for that one. Bailly was sent to the ground, courtesy of Jota getting up and, putting an arm in the back of the Ivorian, but no free kick was given. It was a fair challenge by Jota, who actually did win the header first, rather than foul the man. Here's Dean Henderson. Looks toward the left, looking for Shaw. A little bit short as Trent Alexander-Arnold tried to get it under control, but it's just bounced off the boot of Luke Shaw and gone out of play for a Liverpool throw as Trent Alexander-Arnold goes to take it. I remember, Aaron, back in early April when, of course, there was all that talk that he just missed out on the England squad. It was the first game after the last international break before the European Championships and the end of the season. He played that night against Arsenal and he was practically untouchable. Everything he crossed in was just superb. Sorry to remind you again, being the big Arsenal fan that you are, but he's pretty much doing the same tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been absolutely magnificent. And for me, I can understand Gareth Southgate's decision maybe not to start him in certain games, but you have to take him. You have to. Because say there's 20 minutes to go in a game, England losing 1-0, you want him on the pitch from right back, because he's another complete different weapon. He offers something which no one else in the England squad does. So, you know, he's got to be in that team. He's got to be in that squad. And I'm not saying he has to start, but he's got to be in and around it.
Reece Williams has fouled Marcus Rashford there. As Rashford got that touch, let it run as Williams was going to challenge with him. He did catch Rashford, who knew exactly what he was doing. And Anthony Taylor has elected not to book the young centre-back who's thrived on a big stage, you could say, as Reece Williams alongside Nat Phillips, only 20 years of age. Reece Williams has only really been introduced this season as well, and has not just been introduced because he's almost that good. It's almost just been forced upon, hasn't it, given the injuries to Matip, Van Dijk, Gomez over the course of the season. Of course, Kabak's the latest casualty. Ben Davies, who was signed from Preston North End in January, is yet to actually play a minute for Liverpool, and he's also injured as well. So fair play that Jurgen Klopp has put those two defenders in, and on nights like this, they're really performing well. It is such a nice sight to see young players show their class against top players.
Not a better night to do it, is there? Old Trafford, under the lights, Thursday night, important game.
Salah now to Firmino. Maybe is it a fourth? Into Jota. It could be four. And he's hit the post. Jota denied the brace. He opened up. He went for the left-hand side. Henderson was beaten. Luckily, the post has saved him. It hit the outside of it as Liverpool still have it in attack. There was so much space for Diogo Jota. Firmino looked up, played the right ball, and unfortunately for him, it's just smacked off the post, and he's been denied a second, and his team have been denied a fourth. Good challenge by McTominay to deny Jota bringing the ball any further forward. Cavani being put under mounting pressure by a few Liverpool shirts as Lindelof now has it and plays the ball looking for Shaw, who tries to get that under control, but it's over here and has gone out for a throw. But they're just going to show that chance again. It was all stemming from a poor pass from Fred.
Again, Fred at the heart of all the United's errors. As soon as he loses the ball in that area, Trent, one ball into Firmino, another ball, and for me, Jota has to score. He has to score. He's got enough space, enough time. He's got to put that in the back of the net. But how long is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wait? He's got to take Fred off. He's already given one goal away. He's almost given another.
If you're in Jota's position, Aaron, would you have done anything different? I mean, the one thing you could say is he had that much time. You know, you've got to go for the other corner, haven't you? Because Henderson left a lot of room for him to hit the ball into.
Yeah. Other corner, maybe through the keeper's legs. Even he had enough space on that front post to just pass it in. And I think he's gone for too much power. I think he's focused too much on striking the ball, and he's just got to place it. Sometimes just passing the ball into the back of the net, and that's what Diego Jota's got about him. He's got composure. So I'm surprised he hasn't scored that, and that was a big chance, because if they score that, it's game over.
Rashford appended by Trent Alexander-Arnold in the midst of that with my co-commentator Aaron. So United have got a free kick. It's actually the first time that they've probably been in the final 18 yards of Liverpool's half in the opening quarter of this second half, and it's one that's not going their way, the hosts, as they find themselves 3-1 down. Diogo Jota and Roberto Firmino with 2, the difference so far. In by Luke Shaw, not a bad delivery. Well headed out, though, by Reece Williams. Really vital header as well. Jota wins it off Paul Pogba, and maybe the counter's on for Liverpool. Salah with the back heel into Firmino. He tries to give it to Salah. Wan-Bissaka with a crucial sliding challenge, but he's just giving it cheaply away as Salah sets Alexander-Arnold free. Henderson with the save, he spills it, and then Fred is unable to clear his lines with Alexander-Arnold chasing him all the way. But that is a vital save that Dean Henderson's made, and United really are just struggling to deal with Liverpool on the break.
United are in disarray at the moment. Every time, look at again, Wan-Bissaka gets the ball, starts trying to dribble out. Just get rid of it. Just put it 60 yards down the pitch instead of putting your team in such a difficult situation. And Trent does well. He's on his weaker foot. He strikes well. Henderson, to be fair, makes a very good save. But United are causing their own problems.
You could almost say that they're making mistakes that are so uncharacteristic, isn't it? I mean, United usually are the best at sort of just bringing the ball out. But tonight, especially in this second half, it has just gone the complete opposite way. Here's Thiago. Lovely ball out to Andy Robertson. He'll then cross the ball into the back post. Not the best delivery by him. And it's gone out of play for a goal kick. And now we will see Mason Greenwood introduced. It is Fred going off. It was a change that was in the offing, not a complete surprise. Will we see a tactical tweak maybe from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer here?
I mean, Fred's shaking his head like he hasn't almost just cost his team the game. He's just been awful from minute one of the second half, and he has to come off the pitch, and it's the right decision for Molly. And I can imagine Pogba moves into midfield here, Rashford to the left, and Greenwood to the right of Cavani.
So Mason Greenwood on in place of Fred. Thiago chasing Pogba down all the way from the deep midfield position that he just so likes to be in, to not let United bring that ball out from their own half, as Henderson will restart here with, of course, Bailly and Lindelof both on the corner of the 6-yard box. But Henderson is electing to, I think, go long with this, as he will be looking to find Edison Cavani. He looks for Rashford instead. Cavani will give chase, but it's a chase that sees the ball go out of play for a throw, and in the end,
you'll see all the dark arts now from Liverpool in terms of slowing the game down like that there. Nat Phillips just taking his time, not rushing anything.
Yes, we'll try and get Matt back in his second as Liverpool almost got in there. Now, Paul Pogba will fetch the ball away from Manchester United, trying to put Marcus Rashford in there, but Phillips does well to tidy up in there. Good defending there from Nat Phillips in the end, Darren.
Yeah, no, like we said, they had a not necessarily a shaky first 5 minutes, but they made the mistake and conceded a goal. But since then, they've been absolutely brilliant, the pair of them. And, it's a credit to both of them. It's a big night for the club, and they're under severe pressure. They have to win, so they've got to put a top performance up playing against Cavani. And to be fair, so far they have. And, they've got to keep going another 25, 30 minutes. They've got to keep doing it.
Yes, as Aaron Wan-Bissaka collects the ball over on that far side. He's got Mason Greenwood outside of him, and Greenwood now puts the ball in looking for Cavani. And Reece Williams knocks the ball behind for a corner to Manchester United. Dangerous cross in there, but Reece Williams deflected it behind really well. And Adams back for defending. So it's Firmino, Salah there as well. Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, Lindelof, Bailly, McTominay, Rashford, all in and around the penalty area, waiting for this free kick, waiting for this corner to be taken in, as we just see an effort earlier from where Fabinho caught Bruno Fernandes. His Luke Shaw's gone across to take it with his left foot. He'll send the ball in towards Edison Cavani at the near post. Van Houten heads clear and he break towards Mason Greenwood. Has to knock it back. Try and Wan-Bissaka. And then he's all gone all the way back to Dean Henderson. And with Manchester United having a corner and going all the way back to the goalkeeper, it's a bit of a waste, that isn't it, really, Aaron? But we'll come back to that in a second. As Greenwood has collected the ball in towards Edison Cavani, right side of the penalty area, turns away, and Andy Robertson puts it behind for a corner. But that first corner, this corner needs to be a bit better than the last one, doesn't it, Aaron?
Yeah, it's got to be a lot better. You've got to put the ball in the box in the right areas and cause Liverpool problems. But since United have made the change, they've looked a lot better. They're getting the ball up quicker. Cavani's working. Rashford and Greenwood got those channels, and Pogba's now playing through the middle, which makes a huge difference. And they've now got 2 corners in 2 minutes, and they're looking for that goal that they need.
Yes, Luke Shaw to take. This is a better corner towards McTominay, headed away by Roberto Firmino. Now Mo Salah's breaking away for Liverpool. Salah into Jota. How wide is Thiago? Thiago plays the ball down the line for Jota again. Jota into the penalty area. Still going Diego Jota. And Wan-Bissaka gets across to tidy up well. And Manchester United almost caught out there from that corner, their own corner, which Liverpool managed to defend well. But more dangerous cross in. It's Pogba now inside his own penalty area. Spreads the ball out wide to this left-hand side and Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw will fetch the ball forward to Bruno Fernandes. He lets the ball run through Rashford. Now Cavani. Ball back through to Marcus Rashford. Rashford thrown goal. Rashford, it's in! Manchester United have pulled one back. It's Marcus Rashford with the goal. And it's a fantastic goal from Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, it's all come from just being more direct. It's Luke Shaw into Fernandes, into Cavani, back to Rashford, runners in behind. You know, you just see that and you think, why didn't they start like this? As in, why didn't Greenwood start the game and have these runners? That causes the Liverpool defence problems. And this is where the game's going to be won or lost. It's between those two centre-halves. And United have been absolutely brilliant in that little move there. And Rashford with a great finish.
Yes, fantastic finish from Marcus Rashford on the score sheet tonight. He came on a bit too late in the game against Leicester on Tuesday, but Liverpool now have only a 1-goal lead to defend, and as we have Matt Iles back, so we'll fetch him back in a second as Alisson has the ball. We'll bring Matt back to you all in a second as Liverpool will come away now with Fabinho. We'll watch this attack and then we'll fetch Matt back in as here is Salah back to Trent Alexander-Arnold, back down the line from Salah on this right-hand side, back into Trent Alexander-Arnold, skips away from Pogba, still going Trent Alexander-Arnold. What can he do? Trent Alexander-Arnold just over. He's definitely there from Trent Alexander-Arnold, Aaron.
Yeah, it's a great run from him, and you know he's caused problems all evening. And once again, he gets at the heart of United's defence. Yeah, I think he could do a bit better with that shot. You know, he's got a lot of quality behind him, Trent, and should definitely be hitting the target for me. But something Liverpool needed to do, get back out up that pitch.
Yes, and with Matt now back with us, we'll hand back over to Matt Iles alongside Aaron Ayer.
Yeah, I do apologise for the technical difficulties. Of course, the beauty of technology is it never does go quite smoothly, but in the absence, of course, of myself with those minor issues, United pulled a goal back with Marcus Rashford. It is well and truly game on at Old Trafford as we approach the final 20 minutes. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 3 on a game you're listening to on Football Commentary Live, the home of alternative commentary. Remember, it was 2-1 at the break. And then Liverpool scored really early on in the second half that made it 3-1. And Rashford scoring just a few minutes ago has made the game very interesting. Here's Luke Shaw on the overlap. In goes the cross. Phillips decides against hitting it first time. Cavani Fernandes went for it. Greenwood has his shot blocked on the line. What a vital block it was. It was Liverpool's turn to make a real hash of clearing their lines. They tried to almost play their way out of trouble. Cavani was persistent in his pressure. It then went to Fernandes. He couldn't hit the target. It went to Greenwood, but Nat Phillips was in the right place at the right time to block on the line and to keep it at 3-2.
I mean, he had to clear the ball originally, but he's done well to stop it from going in the back of the net.
Luke Shaw will take this corner. Suddenly United in the ascendancy. McTominay getting up. Firmino was there alongside him. Drilled back in by Shaw. Liverpool just about get it away. Salah now with Wijnaldum. Now Thiago. Forward it goes looking for Jota. He goes down under the challenge of Wan-Bissaka, who did have his arm on his shoulder, but it's not enough contact to give a free kick according to the referee. Here is Mason Greenwood. Now Marcus Rashford. Swings in the cross. Fernandes attacks. It brushes his head. And Cavani was there alongside him, but it's well away from him. And it's gone out of play for a throw. But suddenly that goal has just lifted the mood and lifted those Manchester United players on the pitch.
Yeah, I think it was as soon as that change was made, they've got a bit of impetus about their play. They're going forward quicker. They're more direct. Passes between the lines are faster. And they look a real good. They look like the Man United we've seen for the last 2, 3, 4 months. They look very, very good, and you can just see they are creating chances again.
Well, you can see the replay once again. Rashford's goal took the faintest of touches off of Andy Robertson, who's helped out his way in. Greenwood tries on his left foot. It's actually hit his own player as McTominay blocked the line of the shot as it cannoned off the back of him. Wan-Bissaka chasing with Robertson. And it is a corner kick. Wan-Bissaka did really well there, not to foul Robertson first and foremost, but to win a corner kick there, as Liverpool really under the cosh and on the ropes at the moment as United sense a great chance to equalise.
Just looking at that replay of the goal, could it be a second own goal of the game for United?
It possibly could be. It possibly could be. As the corner will be taken by Luke Shaw. Goes deep to the back post. Lindelof heads it down, but can only head it straight down to Alisson as he rolls it out to Trent Alexander-Arnold. On the floor it goes to Mo Salah. Now he gives it to Thiago. Salah's made the run through the middle. Salah will be found by Thiago. Will he go to the right? Find Jota. Salah goes on his own, as he so often does. He took it on first time, but he was off the mark with that shot there.
That is prime Liverpool there. A corner kick for Man United, and within 4 passes, Trent, Salah, Thiago, Salah's had a shot at the other end, and now come the changes.
Curtis Jones and Sadio Mane will be introduced. Gini Wijnaldum will be coming off as he gives the captain's armband to another Liverpool teammate. And Jota is also the man to make way. So Jones on for Wijnaldum. And the man, of course, who progressed from the Liverpool Academy. Certainly knows a thing or two about this game, given what, of course, he was brought up on in the Academy. And Sadio Mane on in place of Diogo Jota for the final 17 and a half minutes. So still quite positive changes by Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think he had to make them because, as we just saw from that corner, the counter-attack is always on for Liverpool. And Sadio Mane in transition, regardless if he's in form or not, he's a threat. And Hotta's legs were going slowly, you could see it. So good changes from Klopp. Right thing to do, in my opinion.
Yes, right thing to do it was, as his side are currently 3-2 up. Wan-Bissaka just darting away from Andy Robertson, and then it goes off Robertson as Curtis Jones with his first touch plays a short pass to Fabinho. Here's Thiago, looking a little bit like his old self tonight, is Thiago at times. Here is now Sadio Mane. Eager anticipation to see him come on as he slips, trying to play that ball forward, and it goes all the way through to Dean Henderson. But this second half, which was so one-sided in the first sort of 15 plus minutes, has just turned into a real contest, hasn't it? With both sides really going for it, hammering ton at each other. Here is Fernandes looking out to the left, and it's the Liverpool defender Alexander-Arnold who he picks out. Mane's chasing onto it. Flag stays down. Mane tries to go around Henderson, but he does so well, Henderson, to dive at Mane's feet and to stop Mane from flicking it over him. But it almost looked like United were trying to play offside there.
Yeah, and it's that boy again, Trent Alexander-Arnold, with an absolutely unbelievable ball. He's put it right where Mane wants it, and Mane maybe just a bit too early for him since he's just come on about 2 minutes ago. If he had been playing 70 minutes, he probably gets that ball under control and scores. But that's what Liverpool needed to do. They need to attack because you've just seen for the last 10 minutes prior to this, when they have to try and defend, they're not very good at it. So they've got to keep trying to stay on the front foot.
Sure, down the line to Marcus Rashford. He will get on the end of it. Taking on Phillips and beating him on the inside. Rashford shoots. He went the wrong side. You felt Marcus Rashford. He did everything right to set the chance up. And then he went toward Alisson's left-hand side in his near post. But he was off target as it hits the side netting. But real good, positive play by Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's where you don't want Nat Phillips to be. You don't want him 1v1 with Marcus Rashford out there because he shows what Rashford's about. He's very, very skillful. And, I think Trent, obviously, as good as he is on the attacking side, you'd be screaming at him to get back in there and make sure it's a 2v1. Don't let Nat Phillips be 1v1 with him. Do not let that at any stage in the last 15, 16 minutes.
United will be hoping that can happen on a few more occasions, trying to go on the inside of Nat Phillips and, as you said, Aaron, go one-on-one with him. But in Liverpool sense, they'll be hoping that doesn't happen anymore as Fernandes plays it through to Cavani. He's on the edge of the box, turns and gives it to Marcus Rashford. He then plays it along the full to Fernandes. Chance to shoot, does. Thiago blocks it. There was an arm used. It is a free kick that has been given by Anthony Taylor. As Fernandes, the United skipper tonight, has got it in a position that he'll be licking his lips over for definite. And of course, by the new law, if you're trying to block it with your face and stop it, that being the case, free kick's going to have to be given.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a free kick. Thiago's trying to be clever with what he does there, but I don't even think he needed to do it. I think the ball was going over regardless. And now they're in big, big trouble because you've got two set-piece specialists in Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes stepping over the ball, and Alisson definitely needs to get his ball right. I wonder if we'll see anyone crouch down or lie down. Probably looks like Thiago might do it.
He looks poised to be in that position, doesn't he? Does Thiago? One thing about it, that is a very tall wall that Liverpool have deployed for this free kick. Whoever takes it, whether it will be Rashford or Fernandes, you can see Curtis Jones, Phillips, Williams, Firmino and Fabinho all in the wall. Thiago's just behind. Pogba is staring down at Alisson, who's trying to organise his ball to make sure that no corner is unturned, if you like, as Thiago now does crouch down, as you anticipated, Aaron. Well called. And obviously we are starting to see that a little bit more in modern football, aren't we? As Thiago has got his arms folded. He looks in a very nice position, doesn't he? There as Fernandes takes it, but it's too high and it's a disappointing attempt by the Portuguese playmaker.
Yeah, no, I thought I seen Rashford score a fair few free kicks from this range, and I thought maybe it was for him. Maybe just strike the ball towards the keeper's side and look for the second balls, look for the rebounds, and it's quite poor from Fernandes. That for a player of his quality, he's got to do a lot better.
Yeah, you can see the frustration as he let a bit of a scream out, did Bruno Fernandes, as we are approaching the final 11 and a half minutes of this game. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 3. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter. Go to our page at Commentary Live 1, capital C, capital L, and then just the actual letter 1 at the end of it, all one thing. And then, of course, you can go to our Facebook page if you're not on Twitter. Of course, if you're regular listeners, you already know that. But if you are new to the channel or listening, it is facebook.com/FootCom Live. As Scott McTominay goes into the book, the very tenacious midfielder with a rather late challenge on Fabinho as he brushes his shin there. That was actually more nastier than I actually first thought there, I must admit. But no need to go to VAR on that one.
I mean, I'm looking at that. That's late. It's a bit reckless. I'm surprised they haven't had another look at that. It's high. It's nice. It's not a good challenge from Scott McTominay.
It is never nice, is it, when you see a player challenge someone on the shin? Mane goes down. That looked a clumsy one by McTominay. It was just booked just a few seconds before. He's got away with not giving away a free kick there, and you could possibly say if that was a free kick given, maybe that's the second yellow card, but nothing has come of it. Fabinho down once again. It was this time Fernandes nibbling away at him, and it's a free kick to Liverpool on the left-hand side of the pitch, in front of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand. Your view on that, Aaron? Is that a free kick or not?
I mean, he slipped over, but he's fouled Mane. He's a very, very lucky boy because another day, another ref.
Free kick is taken short. Firmino can't get around Fernandes, who stands his ground well there to not allow the Brazilian to go on the outside of him, cleared away by United. Probably the right thing to do in that instance. It means they can just get out of play and not allow Liverpool the chance to get a fourth goal, which you would think would kill this game off with 9.5 minutes to play. Shaw underneath it. Thiago on the second ball. Here is the Spanish midfielder, but he runs into Paul Pogba, and it is a Liverpool throw-in. But just going back to that Mane foul, Aaron, you were saying about it, there's enough contact for Mane to go down. I mean, in that situation, he's got round McTominay. He wouldn't go down if there was no contact, would he?
No, 100%. And I mean, McTominay definitely hits him. And I think the referee's just given McTominay the benefit of the doubt that, or he's just been booked and he didn't want to book him again. I don't know. He's had a very good game, Anthony Taylor, but that one decision you could have given it for Liverpool and could have sent him off as well.
Henderson sends it into the air. Williams and Cavani competing. Cavani just gave him a little nudge. The back of Cavani anyway. Williams was attacking it forward facing. Ball forward looking for Firmino. Bailly does well to just trap it. He's now trying to turn away from Firmino, then plays it along the floor to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who plays it through to Scott McTominay, who wins a throw as the last touch has gone off Robertson. As we are edging closer to full time. Remember, United have only made one alteration. Their lack of real quality behind Greenwood on the bench is quite telling, to be perfectly honest with you. Liverpool, of course, have brought Mane and Jones on. Be very surprised if another sub is made. Fernandes, once again, is clutching the back of his ankle. It was Nat Phillips that went through him. He did win the ball, to be fair to him, did Phillips, but he did catch him just after as Liverpool take this round with Trent Alexander-Arnold. He gets it back from Fabinho. He clears up the pitch with Lindelof underneath it. Jones and McTominay competing against one another, which sees McTominay fouled by Thiago. Went in rather rashly there and quite aggressively did the Liverpool number 6, taken quickly by Manchester United, are in no position to dwell and are not even contemplating it. They want to continue with this game as quickly as they can. Remember, they're behind and on course to lose back-to-back home games. And, of course, lose back-to-back home games in less than 5 days. Just sort of 48 hours after Leicester beat them 2-1, which handed the title to Manchester City and meant that Liverpool officially lost their grip on the Premier League trophies. Trent Alexander-Arnold tries to head it back to Alisson. It does just have enough to go on through to Alisson, of course, who comes a long way out of his goal in that bright yellow kit of his. It's going to be pretty easy to spot if you had the lights turn off at Old Trafford. But the ball rolled out to the Liverpool defence. Has gone straight back to Manchester United with Scott McTominay. He plays it forward to Rashford, and he goes down under the challenge of Trent Alexander-Arnold. And judging by the lack of appeals by Rashford, he knows that's not a foul, and it's really good and smart defensive play by Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I think United just need to get a little bit of structure in their attacking again. Like, they're just trying to all of a sudden go A to B really, really quickly, and it just relax and get a couple passes in, build the play up, and build something where you can put the Liverpool defence under pressure and maintain it for 5-6 minutes and constantly pepper their goal. Instead, right now, they're just trying to find Rashford or Greenwood on runs, and it's not working. Liverpool are dealing with it well.
Nemanja Matic is tying his shoelaces on his boots as he's receiving his final instructions from the coaching staff as he's about to be introduced to this game with 6 minutes to go. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 3. Remember, if Liverpool win, they close the gap to 4th place Chelsea by 4 points. They will go above West Ham into 5th. Of course, Jurgen Klopp in his full 4 seasons prior to this has never not taken Liverpool to the Champions League places. Here's Firmino as he tries to clip it looking for Mane, but he got that one all wrong. It was too central as Dean Henderson sees it over the bar. We've seen on a few occasions, Aaron, in this second half in particular. That's how Rashford scored his goal, wasn't it? From that long ball forward, down the middle, down the heart of the Liverpool defence. You think they might start to just keep doing this, United, in search of this crucial equaliser potentially? As Cavani fouls Thiago, and Cavani will go in the book for that. And he's not reacted too kindly to Thiago going down like that, neither.
Yeah, no, like I said, I can understand why they're doing it because they got a goal from it. But Liverpool have all of a sudden, when you watch those long balls come in, Trent's come in a lot closer to Nat Phillips. And as he's got closer to him, there's not as much space for Rashford to run into. So the ball that has to be played in behind has to be perfect for Rashford to get onto. And bar Pogba, really, I don't see any other United player playing that pass to that much perfection. So it's a difficult ball. I think they should take the more patient build-up and really get into Liverpool's half and try and dominate the ball there, because that could cause them problems as well.
Nemanja Matic on in place of Eric Bailly, who has been taken off in his place. Here is Paul Pogba with the free kick coming to nothing from Liverpool. Fernandes now to Wan-Bissaka. Here comes the Man United right back, looking for Cavani. Chests it down to Greenwood, who gets the shot away. It took a deflection off a Liverpool player, but Cavani's penalised for an arm used involved to try and knock that down into the path of Mason Greenwood there. And easy spot for the referee. And it's a free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, no, it's that was a bit better from United. They took a couple passes, got it out to Wan-Bissaka and delivered the ball. And I think that's the approach they've got to take now for the last 4 minutes and whatever's added on. Try and get right into Liverpool's box. And you saw once they made those changes, and they did do that for a good 10 minutes, Liverpool looked shaky, and they've got to do it again.
Sadio Mane couldn't quite get that under control as he tumbles over the challenge from Wan-Bissaka. It was minimal contact, which Anthony Taylor does think was the case as well. Here's Luke Shaw looking down the left for Rashford, cut up by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Good defensive play there by the Liverpool right back. 3 minutes to go. Man United 2, Liverpool 3. It is so close, this game. And ever since United got that second, it has been a real good contest. Lovely ball to Fernandes, who knew in his mind that he was, even though he was going to stretch, he was never really going to get under control. Just had too much pace on it from Scott McTominay there. But a lot better from United, because they're a little bit more forward-thinking now, aren't they? And sort of alluding to what you were saying earlier, Aaron. It's less passes trying to get towards Liverpool's goal, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, Liverpool are defending well. They have been for the last, since they conceded, they've got a bit better, a bit tighter, a bit more organised. You look at the midfield three, they're really, really tight out of possession, not letting any passes go in between them, which is so important at this stage. And then, they're relying on Reece Williams and Nat Phillips to keep winning their aerial battles.
Nat Phillips there made a mess of the clearance, but luckily it took the pace off it as it went on through to Alisson. It's getting to that point, Aaron, where I'm going to have to get you to start thinking about who your man of the match is going to be, sponsored by Commentary Services. I will go to you at the end of the game, or when there is a break in place. So get your thinking cap on, Aaron, to think about who the man of the match is, as United have got a throw in with Luke Shaw taking it. Here is Nemanja Matic. Gives it to Luke Shaw. Of course, Matic did start that game on Tuesday. It was one of the 10 changes made by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer pre-match for this game. Here is Mason Greenwood. Now to Nemanja Matic. It's United ending the stronger of the two, but at the moment, it's not coming to anything. Wan-Bissaka to Fernandes. McTominay to Matic. Now or never for United as we enter the final 60 seconds. Luke Shaw. Lindelof is almost playing as a midfielder now. That is the case for United, as everybody is up from an outfield point of view. The only one back is the goalkeeper, Henderson. Matic didn't really know what to do there and instead gives it straight to a Liverpool player in Curtis Jones. Here's Mo Salah. He might just round this off. He might go it alone. Salah does with the easiest of finishes. 4-2. He scored 2 in the FA Cup match in January. He's done it again at Old Trafford 4 months later. Man United 2, Liverpool 4. United push forward in search of the equaliser. And they're done on the counter like Liverpool have done to so many teams down the years under Jurgen Klopp. United 2, Liverpool 4. The 2 goal cushions back. And what is going back to Merseyside are the 3 points that keep the top 4 race for Liverpool well and truly alive.
And once again, United making their own mistakes. They're just Matic there. You think the experience of him, and he's trying to dribble through 3-4 Liverpool players. He loses the ball, and Liverpool prime Jurgen Klopp football. speed, pace, power, and Mo Salah at the end of it with a top finish. And you can see the celebration. You can see what it means to them. This was a big night for Liverpool Football Club, and they're coming away with 3 huge points.
They absolutely are indeed. Wearing the captain's armband, which he of course got because of Wijnaldum going off on a big night for Liverpool where they really needed to win. More importantly, they've not just won, they have made a statement. They are saying that, yes, we've not been at the pace of what we should have been over the last few years, but that might just be being rediscovered amongst these group of players. Fernandes tries to get through to Greenwood, who was chasing on to really a lost cause, and Alisson just gobbles up the balls. He's come out a long way to take. We're 1 minute into stoppage time as Nico Williams is about to be introduced for the final 3+ minutes of this game, as Phillips goes to Trent Alexander-Arnold, now to Fabinho, now to Phillips. It went straight to Fabinho's feet. Luckily for him, it didn't go to Nemanja Matic, and he's gone out of play for a Liverpool throw. Aaron, have you come to a decision for a man of the match? Of course, man of the match sponsored by Commentary Services. We'll get you to explain it a little bit more later on. And just before I do get you to announce who the man of the match is, Mo Salah comes off as Nico Williams comes on. So, Aaron, who is your man of the match?
I think it was a shoot up between Trent and Roberto Firmino, but I'm going to give it to Firmino for his 2 goals. I think he's been absolutely immense in everything he's done, and Roberto Firmino tonight.
Roberto Firmino is the man of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services. We're entering the final 2 minutes now. Man United 2, Liverpool 4. Nico Williams on, and it might just potentially feel like Liverpool might just intend to just shut up shop, not concede to make it even more nervy at the end. As Nico Williams goes in and challenges with Lindelof. Lindelof went to ground as the ball was bounced off the legs of Nico Williams, as Trent Alexander-Arnold is the 3rd Liverpool player tonight to get their hands on the captain's armband, which he's put on his light blue shirt. Here's Nemanja Matic, as he now plays it in the middle to Scott McTominay. Forward, he plays it looking for Marcus Rashford, as he's often done in this second half. It was a ball with too much on it, and you'd probably have to say it was a pretty hopeless ball, wasn't it? And they've really relied on Rashford to make those runs, haven't they, in this second half, as I was sort of trying to say earlier on in the second half.
Yeah, no, and the thing for me is it worked on the goal, which was a great ball, great touch, great finish, and it wasn't necessarily a direct ball, but it was that run from Rashford. But Liverpool have defended it so well since that moment, and Trent's come in, he's got tight to Phillips, and the midfield are organised, and they've made it very difficult for United. But for me, United are going to be disappointed tonight. They've given Liverpool some goals here with a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes.
It is very unlike Man United to make defensive errors. They have been solid. Maybe the absence of Harry Maguire really telling in this United team, of course. Bailly and Lindelof don't often play as a partnership. Of course, they didn't play on Tuesday. It was Bailly and Tuanzebe. Of course, Lindelof back in the side tonight in place of Tuanzebe. Bailly was the only man who retained his place in the team. Rashford's been found again through the middle. He might be through to get another one. Yeah. He went towards Alisson's left. He went for the right corner, just as he did for his goal, but he's hit it wide as the full-time whistle goes. And whoever thought Liverpool were out of the race for the top 4, maybe they need to think again, because they are right in the race now. 4 points the gap between them and Chelsea, as they've leapfrogged West Ham to go into 5th place with a huge win at Old Trafford, which is the first one they've endured at the Theatre of Dreams under Jurgen Klopp's management. And it was a big night for Liverpool centre-backs in Nat Phillips and Reece Williams. It got off to a horrendous start for Phillips when he diverted a Fernandes shot into his own net to give United the lead inside 10 minutes. But they responded well, Liverpool, with Phillips setting up the chance for Jota, who backheeled it into the net of Dean Henderson's goal to make it 1-1. Then with the last attack of the first half, Firmino powerfully headed in a Trent Alexander-Arnold ball into the back of the net. And then into the early part of the second half, Firmino added a second, scoring on the rebound from Dean Henderson, spilling Trent Alexander-Arnold's shot down the middle to Firmino to put in. Then it was 3-2 with Rashford scoring. That made it an even more intriguing contest, as we were expecting a real Hollywood finish and a real sort of dramatic night. But Liverpool made sure there was no such thing and put the seal on it with Mo Salah wrapping it up with the easiest of finishes to score beyond Dean Henderson. Full time at Old Trafford. Back-to-back home defeats for United. They've been beaten at Old Trafford by Liverpool. It's finished Manchester United 2, Liverpool 4.
Yes, and a fantastic performance by Liverpool and a fully deserved 3 points for the men from Merseyside, and fantastic commentary from Matt and from Aaron. Aaron, you did mention on towards the end of that match, Liverpool 2-goal hero Roberto Firmino was your man of the match, and just talk to me about his performance tonight. Why did you think he stood out from Trent Alexander-Arnold? Because I know you mentioned it was between him and Trent, but what made Firmino stand out more than Trent, in your opinion, tonight?
I just thought he set the tempo for Liverpool early doors. He was pressing high. He barely gave the ball away in transition. He was just everything what Firmino has been over the last 2-3 years. And I think he's had a difficult season. As mentioned on commentary, he hasn't scored in 15 or 16 games, was it? And he comes to what is probably Liverpool's biggest game of the season so far, and he led from the front. He led by example, and scored the 2 goals, made things happen, and he was everything what Liverpool needed today, and he turned up when it mattered most.
Yes, indeed, he turned up when it mattered the most. Got 2 fantastic goals tonight. Matt, you've just heard the reasoning behind Roberto Firmino getting man of the match from Aaron there. Was he your man of the match as well, Matt, if you had to choose one tonight?
I think there was a lot of contenders. You could have given it to any Liverpool player, to be honest. I thought Trent Alexander-Arnold was outstanding, but Firmino, I think, does deserve a special mention more than the others because, as I said, he came into it not scoring in 15 matches. Of course, it was the 16th tonight, and he managed to score not just one, but score 2. And there were 2 very different finishes, of course. Yes, the second one he had was an easy finish from a few yards out. And obviously it was presented to him because of a Henderson error, but he's still got to get there. He's still got to get in the right position. And I think sometimes when you're a striker out of that goal-scoring touch and, with your confidence sort of on the floor and drained, there could be a chance for him not to be there. But he gambled on it. And I think a striker, any good one, is always going to have that, instinct in the back of their mind. If I just make that run and the keeper makes an error, I've got a chance to score. And I'll always back myself to score. And that's exactly what he did. And I think, the first goal he scored, it was a brilliant run to get on the end of Trent Alexander-Arnold's cross. It was right on the money. But, of course, he still got to head it in. It was powerful. He bullied the man to get up. Henderson had absolutely no chance. So, I can't really complain about the man of the match, to be fair. But special mention, I thought Trent Alexander-Arnold was, excellent. I think in particular, Reece Williams, 2 goals were conceded, but they weren't his doing. You could say it was more probably down to Phillips' side in particular, but I thought he played well. I thought Williams did well. It was a big night for the pair of them, not just on an individual note, and I thought they passed the test superbly. But yeah, Firmino, man of the match, I think is a worthy choice from Aaron. He picked a good debut to come on Football Commentary Live and be a co-commentator alongside me tonight, that's for sure.
Yes, he did indeed. And Mike has been doing some research into the Liverpool concluding back 5. So the players who started and the Nico Williams who came on. And he says Alexander-Arnold is 22. Now Phillips is 24. Both Williams, Reece and Nico are both 20. And Andy Robertson is 27. He says it's a very young backline for Liverpool who have many years in them and have good top 5 years ahead of them. And looking at the ages there, Aaron, why do you think Klopp at the moment? I know he's got some injuries to Matip, Gomez and Virgil van Dijk, but with the signing of Kabak recently, I think he's picked up a bit of a knock, but there's Ben Davies in there who's they had much of a looking in the Premier League. Why do you feel he's gone with the young lads and a very young back line tonight for Liverpool against Manchester United.
Well, it was like we were on about earlier in commentary when we said that he tried in the middle of the season. He tried to play. I think it was Fabinho. Henderson played there for a bit, and he was mixing and matching. And they're not actual natural centre backs, and it makes a huge difference being a centre back. You know the role. You know where you need to be. Your communication to your fullback, your central midfielders. It's more natural. It's quick. It's instinctive. And, even just throwing in two young lads, they know the role more than two senior lads. You don't. They know the role. They know what's expected of them, and you know what? They were absolutely superb today. Both of them. I'm not surprised about Trent and Robertson because they've been doing it for 3-4 seasons. But those two, under the lights, in a massive game at Old Trafford, playing against informed Cavani, Bruno Fernandes, some top players. They were absolutely brilliant, and a credit to themselves and a credit to their manager for playing them because it takes a lot to play them because if it didn't work out, he would be the one who would have to take the stick for it. So no, deserved win, great performance all around from Liverpool, and special mention to those two centre halves as well.
Yes, special mention to Nat Phillips and Reece Williams, who played fantastically well and kept Cavani and Co relatively quiet this evening. Mike has gone on to say he did given Trent man of the match day. He thought he was excellent. He did mention he was up there for your man of the match as well. The who calls from earlier the results in the Premier League finished Aston Villa 0, Everton 0 in the 6 o'clock kickoff. In La Liga, finished Real Valladolid 0, Villarreal 2, Eibar 1, Real Betis 1, 56 minutes gone, it's Granada 0, Real Madrid 2, Modric and Rodrigo on target for Zinedine Zidane's side. In the German DBF Cup, Red Bulls Leipzig lost by 4-1. Sancho and Haaland with a brace for Dortmund. Olmo pulled one back for Leipzig. Crotone beat Hellas Verona by 2-1 in Serie A. And in the French Coupe de France, Monaco thrashed Wimmerley Valeries by 5-1. Ben Yedder and Fabregas amongst the goal scorers for Monaco this evening. On behalf of everyone at Football Commentary, I just want to say a fantastic debut on the channel to Aaron Ayer. Hope you've enjoyed it, Aaron, and hopefully you want to come back to do some more commentaries with us.
No, thank you very much, Russ. I appreciate it. And I'll just speak to Matt, and I just said, honestly, I loved every moment of it. It's something I've never done before, and I really enjoyed it. And I would love to come back and do some more because, and it's a special mention to Matt for me because he made that so easy. He made me feel so comfortable, and, he deserves a lot of credit. And I know he's been doing this for a lot of years, and he's still very young and not even got that experience what other commentators have got, but I know he's going to go far in this, and I want to thank him, and I want to thank yourself as well for letting me come on. And yeah, it was brilliant. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, no problem, Aaron. And Michael was on, or maybe mentioning throughout the comments, he says, I like this bloke even more. The fact he's a good, and Mike is also an Arsenal fan, Aaron, so you'll go on well with Mike on the channel as well. So, and a friend of mine who's on Twitch where we go out on as well, he came in and when he's been listening to the match while watching the coverage tonight, so he's been watching the game sound off with your commentary. Cheers for that, Floyd. You're doing okay as well. So if you want to get in touch with us on the channel, you can do so. Just go to twitter.com/commentary live 1 and tweet us at commentary live 1. Also, go to facebook.com/footcom live to get in contact with us there as well. We'll be back on air tomorrow night when Matt is back in the commentary hot seat for Newcastle United's Premier League game with newly crowned Premier League champions Again, I say newly crowned because Liverpool won it last year, but the champions Manchester City will be on tomorrow night. Newcastle against Manchester City. Then on Saturday we'll have the coverage of the FA Cup final between Chelsea and Leicester. And then next week we've got coverage of the EFL playoff matches, starting with the Championship all the way through the week. First legs and then following week second legs as well. So make sure you stay tuned to that one for commentaries coming up here on Football Contact. But tomorrow's match, Newcastle against Man City, with the absolutely fantastic Matt Housen. Matt, just one final word to you, my friend. Matt, what did you make to Aaron's debut tonight? Because I've thought it was very good. Mike thought it was very good. Obviously, Nicholas thought it was very good as well. But overall, for all the 90 minutes, what did you make to Aaron's debut tonight? Because I'll be looking forward to having him back on the channel.
Yeah, just echoing what you, Nicholas, and Mike have said. I thought it was a fantastic debut. For someone who's never done it before, he sounded really natural. You always strive for a good partner, somebody who can add a different flavour and add something that people can't see or they might want to know. And I thought he did it absolutely incredibly. He added a different dimension. You can tell he's a very switched on person. You can tell he's a football coach with a lot of the terms and things he was using, which is absolutely fantastic. I think it's great to have a different voice and somebody who's kind of in that capacity. And, we obviously try our fair share of analysis, myself, Russ, Mike, and, a lot of other people, and Jack, obviously, who's another person on the channel. But having a person like that is just such a breath of fresh air. And I think, it is so refreshing to hear for myself as a commentator and, for people listening at home, wherever they are, it is just fantastic. And, well played to him on something that he's never done before. He could have been quiet. He could have been, shy, but he was very, very passionate and he was, willing to speak and he said good points and came across really well. So well done, Aaron, mate. Well done.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Yes, so on behalf of everyone here, welcome to Live. Great debut tonight, Aaron, and look forward to having you back when you can join us again on the channel. Stay locked and you can listen to the other commentaries that we do and other commentators as well, Aaron, and you can always get your comments in on the live chat as well. And I'll catch you very soon, guys. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you again soon.
See you later.